Oh my God, what is going on there? I'm sure your channel. Okay. All right. So, okay. So show's gonna be. Let me just get the thingies out. All right. So, bloody hell! For God's sakes. All right. So I'm gonna get Flexi on. Gonna get Raindrop, and yeah, we'll have other Sikhs on her as well. Obviously, no doubt about it. Um, we are talking about. We're gonna be talking about 1984, the attack on Harminder Sahib, which is the Golden Temple, the most holiest shrine for the Sikhs, which was done in 1984 between the 1st of June until the 8th of June. Today is the 8th. And we was going to do it on the 6th, but unfortunately I couldn't get Raindrop on, so we've had to reschedule it to today, but it's still within the time frame because it was a 8-day or 7-day event. Obviously, one of the biggest, let's just say, stain on Indian uh, current history. So you're looking at the formation of India in 1947, but just generally, it's like one of the biggest disgraces. What it is, before I bring everyone on, I just need to just say, not everybody agrees with what's called Khalistan. Khalistan is a separate state for the Sikhs, yeah, in Indian Punjab. Now, although not everybody agrees with that or agrees with a guy called Sant Janel Singh Pindarawala, which I'll go into afterwards, nearly all Sikhs, 99%, will agree that the attack on the Golden Temple is a disgrace. Yeah, you don't have to agree with Khalistan to agree that the attack on the Golden Temple is a disgrace. My mum, my brother, my sister, they don't agree with Khalistan. In fact, they don't even really like Pindarawala. Some of my family members, because they think that his behavior kind of caused what happened, so they kind of hold him responsible. Me myself, I'm a Punjab separatist. There's a difference between being a Khalistani and a Punjab separatist. I call myself a Khalistani just because it's easier to bracket myself under that umbrella, because I agree with a lot of stuff they say, but I'm differing on quite a few, what I call kind of like quite a few kind of main points. I'm going to get Raindrop and Thingy on. We're going to discuss this obviously, but I have to go over today. I'm going to have to go over the video from yesterday as well about the old man being converted on his deathbed. Going to go over that for a bit because that one's definitely something that has pissed me off. Let me get. Let me send the links out. So okay, thanks to Press Stop. Okay, that's quite a nice little video. All right, I might actually show that later. Let's send this out to Flexi, and then the links. Is that the link? That is the link. Yeah, it's the link. And then let me give it to Raindrop. Raindrop. And yeah. Okay. I'm just sent the links out. Okay, so can people kind of monitor the chat, please? I don't want any bullshit on there. Anything that's let's just say a little bit inappropriate. I do want to kind of I'm censoring. Yes, I'm censoring because I like to keep these Sikh shows kind of clean up to a certain degree so people can watch them. Let me just say a few hellos first. Dave Smith, big up the Sikhs. Thanks, my bro. Raindrop, big up. Flexi Stew, gonna come on. Yummy Pie. Well, I don't know what that name is. Man like H2 Pack Sing. Scottish Jamie. Ultra funky. All right, here comes Rod Seeker's Corner with the heat-seeking missile. Yeah, I love that. Actually, I might have that as my new kind of like slogan. I'll have to trademark that. Otherwise, Ultra will sue me. Today is the day. Yummy bummy. JK. Oh, it's JK. Is that the real JK? Oh, God, he's back. I don't know if that is, but if it is, we got to JK, man. Emily Luca, Scottish Jamie, Small Racks TV, Tommy. Oh no, I don't know about that one. Grant Mitchell, Auntie Tippy, Amanveed Singh, Sasligal, Baji. How's it going? Emily Luca. It was Mrs. Ultra's birthday yesterday. I salute Mrs. Ultra for being a good wife, washing the dishes, doing her duty, making sure those pots and pans are clean for Ultra to eat from and enjoy his food that his wife's cooked without no consideration for herself, and probably lets him eat and then eats 10 hours later just so that he can digest the food, go toilet, go sleep, and then she can eat when it's dark and she's by herself, miserable after a hard day's work. Well done to Mrs. Ultra. Well done to Mrs. Ultra. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right. So Steve the Atheist, Aunt Tippy. Yeah. It's going to be nice to listen. Yeah, it's going to be an educational one. I'm going to try and be fair. Because there are certain things, and to the Sikhs out there, yeah, let me say something. To the Sikhs out there, I'm not going to be doing this show where it's just all glossed over that, you know, Bhindranwala did no wrong, and, you know, the Sikh, the separatist movement did no wrong. No, they made mistakes. Yeah, they made mistakes. Yeah, big up to Haki. They made mistakes, and I'm going to pull out the mistakes. Remember, I am a supporter of the separatist movement, and I am a supporter of Bhindranwala up to a point, but I hate supporting it. I'm not supporting no one, yeah, unless they're my gurus, yeah, unconditionally. Yeah, no, I'm not supporting no one. People make mistakes, and he made mistakes. I'm telling you straight now, and I'll actually talk about those mistakes, because there's certain things that I do not like. Certain things that happened during that time that I think, you know, is wrong. It's just basically wrong. You know, some of the stuff is wrong. Now, some of it could be Indian propaganda and stuff, but some of the stuff I cannot agree with, and that's why kind of like, you know, when I hear people kind of let's just say, I don't like people making someone into something they're not. Like, I'll give you an example. Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi is now being immortalized as some amazing dude, yeah, like never done no wrong. He was a saint going around fighting for, you know, independence of India, and he secured the independence of India. And that's true. Yes, you can't take that away from the man. But you also can't take away from the fact that the guy was a racist in his younger days and still had views that were probably going against what most people think of him. Yeah. On top of that, the guy was a pedo. There's just no way to get around that. Yeah. You can sugarcoat as much as you want. If a grown man, yeah, lies in a bed naked, yeah, with children, he's a pedo. And so you can still say, okay, the guy secured independence for India, but can still condemn him and say the guy was a racist and a pedo. Yeah. That doesn't take away from the fact that he secured independence. You just got to balance the thing out. That the people. Oh, let me just get Flexi. Why is that you, Flexi? Flexi.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
So what we're going to do today, let me just get a raindrop on, because I want three. Now, the reason why I had to wait for three of us to get on here is because there's not. I don't see the point of discussing this topic unless we have differing views, kind of going from all different sides. And let me explain I think you're more for a Khalsa Raj, aren't you? So you're more of a Khalistani than me, I think, personally.
I don't know if I can agree with that. I have to say that I'm quite uneducated on most things, but definitely when it comes to this topic, I understand how sensitive it is, and that each and every word that we say is going to affect people in a different manner. Firstly, maybe we can talk about like what Khalistan is to you, and like what that means, and then maybe I can say from what I've led to believe Khalistan is.
All right. So from my understanding, the definition most Khalistanis go by is that the state for the Sikhs that is based around Sikh theology. So it's not a secular system. It's a theocracy, and certain parts of certain Khalistanis. So you're looking at Khalsa Raj in kind of like essence, and on top of that, you're looking at some of them believe that they want the whole of Maharaja Ranjit Singh's empire back, which spans all the way from Indian Punjab all the way to Lahore, Afghanistan, Kashmir, and all that kind of stuff. So it depends on which person you talk to in terms of. But the main thing about Khalistani is that they support Bhindranwala, wholeheartedly, and on top of that, they will be people that want a Sikh state based around Sikh theology. Whereas with me, I'm a Punjab separatist. Yeah, I personally believe that I would. I don't know, people are not going to like this, but this is just my point of view, and I'm allowed to have it. I do agree with a lot of stuff Bhindranwala said. I agree that he's somebody that I respect. Let me just put it first. I respect him, but he's not he's not somebody that I revere and say he made no mistakes. And so for me, I prefer to have a system of secularism and democracy, and a Punjab separate state, which includes Hindus, Muslims, and Christians. As long as you're from that thingy, and obviously, anyone that's a Sikh that wants to live there as well. But it's not based around theology. So that's kind of my stance on it. So yeah.
Well, can you still hear me, brother?
Yeah, go.
Just get a mic check.
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Oh, cool. Well, I mean, like, forgive me for interrupting. The device I'm on might need to be restarted, so let me know if it gets all funky, because it's acting a little bit slow.
It's
but
fine from it's fine
one thing
from
I wanted to
I'm sorry. It's fine from my end, man. It's fine from my end.
Why, Guru?
Yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to question really there is that you use the term Khalistan and Khalsa Raj interchangeable, and like for me, I'm not quite sure, but from what I can tell, that nobody's really clear on what Khalistan is and isn't. But we can be certain on what Khalsa Raj is. If you don't mind with me.
Yeah. Go on,
Raj Kalega Khalsa, Akine na Kowe.
Yeah.
So basically, the Khalsa will reign by the divine hukum of Akal Purakh Vaheguru, and none shall oppose. I mean, and where is the borders of that? That's to do with humanity, and maybe even more so to animals and plant kingdom. That the reign of the Khalsa is the reign of righteousness and compassion and just rule. That it's very hard for one to get their head around the concept that there can be a just ruler. But that's what we have in the King of Kings, Maharaj Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and the Granth is top. So, I mean, as far as my political stance is that there is no finer morality that humanity has than Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So that's where I'm looking to. And in our das, we say Raj Karega Khalsa.
Yeah. And I kind of look. The thing is, I'm living in reality, in the sense that what do I think would work as of today, right now? Like, obviously, as any Sikh, they would want, a Khalsa Raj. There's no doubt every Sikh would want that. But I'm looking at being more practical. Is that you, Raindrop? Raindrop?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, big up. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's you. All right. So Is that Manny Sinda? I don't know if Manny Sinda wants to jump on as well and give his point of view. So
Big up, man.
so yeah, I mean, so for me, like I said, like, you know, I agree with you, Flexi. I think, yeah, you made a good point there. But when we're looking at the state of the Punjab at the moment and just looking at what's practical as of today, remember, as of today, yeah, I'm a realist. And as you can see, the Punjab is here, over here, and obviously they want that state to be separated. Some want the whole of Kashmir back, Pakistan, and all that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, we got what's his name? What's his name? Sorry, Raindrop. Raindrop's probably an Indian nationalist, I'd say.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So he's for the agreement of having. So we can agree to disagree. Yeah, we don't have to hate each other. We're still Sikh brothers.
Of course, bro.
Yeah, there's lots of Sikhs, yeah, including in my family. Like, I'm gonna go into like my family's views because I'm kind of different from the rest of my family. That I am actually I was a Khalistani at one point. I would say I was a Khalistani because, you know, I agreed with most of the stuff. I am more of a Punjab separatist as I've grown older because I think it's more practical in today's age. And so you're more of a pro-India. So what's your, like, we're going to go over I'm going to go over the kind of like situation with the Punjab and what happened. And I'm going to be fair. Like, I'm gonna pull up the bad things from both sides. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah, because I don't think you know, I don't think Bindranwala did make mistakes. Yeah, I still agree with him overall. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. Bindranwale, like people call him Sant Bindranwale. So yeah. I mean, I have respect for him, and I believe that his movement got hijacked later on. It wasn't that he wasn't setting out to, you know, make a thing where he's going to set up a different country. What he wanted was, you know, Punjabis to go back to their spiritual roots. So he wasn't trying to lead like a, you know, a political thing. But what happened was that later on, they call it the domino effect. So one thing led to the other, and it became a political issue. Which, like, if you look at any religion, I'm always against politics and religion mixing. No matter what religion it is, it could be Sikhism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam, Christianity. Because whenever you mix politics and religion, you're going to end up destroying the spirituality. Because people who are thieves, who are liars, you know, they'll just come in and infiltrate and make something that's good and pure and twist it for their own agendas. So you look at Christianity. I actually learned this from America, the American Constitution. So in America, we have a separation of church and state. We don't have like, you know, the church is controlling the state. And the reason that happened in the United States and the reason America became such a successful country was that they recognized in the 1700s that the Europeans who were ruled by the church, you know, if you looked at the Rome, the Catholic Church was heavily influencing France and Spain, and this created, you know, with the King Edward, where he made his own Anglican church because he wanted to get a divorce. So whenever you put politics and religion, you're gonna screw things up. You're gonna make it, you know, messed up. That's why I'm firmly against any time, like, you know, anyone in politics and the religion. So I think what happened with Bindranwale, and even one of the biggest there's an Indian minister, Subramanian Swamy, okay? So Subramanian Swamy, he's part of the BJP. I know you don't like the BJP, but he's part of the BJP. And he actually stayed with Bindranwale in Amritsar. So I don't know if you know this, Raji, I'll put his interviews. He actually lived with him, with Bindranwale, inside the Golden Temple. And he actually talked about how there was like the Congress government was hyping it up. There was not like big, massive, you know, catches of machine guns or anything. And this guy's he was like a big person in the Modi government in the BJP.
Oh, boo! Sorry, I have to boo.
No, so the point that I'm trying to make is that anytime you mix politics and religion, is going to end up causing destruction.
Yeah, and the other problem is like there's a guy called Aaron. He's a Punjabi Hindu. What do you do if you're ruling under a Sikh state? What about the Christians, the Hindus, the Muslims? And so that's why I'm more of a secularist now, because like, okay, you know, if you're gonna have a mixed community, I'm not saying, you know, if you're gonna have a mixed community, I just think secularism is the best route to go.
Yeah, of
If
course.
you've got a diverse group of people in the state. Remember, I didn't really understand how many Hindus were in Punjab until I got older. Let me, before I go on there, because I need to just kind of educate people about just the basics of what happened. So
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
so if everyone can see these pictures, yeah, this is the Golden Temple, or what we call the Harmandir Sahib, which is our most holiest place. There are other holy shrines, but this is the kind of the seat, or what we say, like the kind of like the heart of the Sikhs. Yeah, we have the Gal Takht there, which is our governing body. You can make kind of, what do you call them? I mean, they give them, what's the word again? What do they give them when they're giving out a ruling and stuff? I've forgotten
The timeless throne.
Yeah, no, when they're giving out a ruling. What's the thing called again?
You talk about Akal Takht?
Hukamnama.
Yeah, no, it's not Hukamnama. It's what is it?
This is Akal. It's a seat of the Akal Takht.
Yeah, but when they're giving out a ruling, what is the word again? It's not a Hukamnama. Is like what they give it, like a daily sort of like guidance. But what's the
You're talking about the Maryada, the Maryada?
not really Maryada.
Not the Maryada. Maryada is like principles.
It's more about they can make rulings on Sikh kind of philosophy and stuff like that. So this is the Golden Temple, rated one of the most.
A bhajan?
We'll have to find some.
No, not a bhajan, not a bhajan.
We'll find out in a bit. So basically, as you can see, this is the most holiest shrine for the Sikhs. Rated one of the most beautiful places in India, maybe in the world. As you can see right now on here, it looks relatively peaceful. But in 1984, the Indian government stormed the Golden Temple and basically bombed the hell out of it, killing probably 1,000+ people. On top of that, probably doing more harm to the, let's just say, the relationship between Sikhs and the Indian state than anything anybody's ever done before. It had a knock-on effect because after this particular attack on the Golden Temple, the lady who ordered it, called Indira Gandhi, her bodyguards then shot her dead, who were two Sikh bodyguards. She was a bitch, no doubt about it. And then because of that, then the 1984 Delhi riots happened, where around 10,000 Sikhs were then rounded up and killed in Delhi by massive mobs of supporters of Indira Gandhi. So I had a knock-on effect. Now, we need to kind of understand, like, you know, how did it get to the point that the Golden Temple was attacked by the Indian government? That's kind of what I want to go through. Yeah. How did it get to the point that the Golden Temple?
I mean, forgive me for interrupting you, Raji, but can I also like add to that? In that, when the attack happened, it happened at a time when they knew it would be completely full of devotees. It was done on a specific day and time to maximize civilian casualties. And when you do some act like this, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a military man, but I assume that you want to hit military targets and to remove civilian casualties, that maybe like even some sort of warning can be issued of like, all right, we're going to fire, like, you know, get out of the way. That really, the evidence certainly suggests that with the media crackdown that happened beforehand and the blackout from the Western medias, that this was a crime that was committed against civilians, and not just of Sikhs, but also, like, you've got to imagine like how many Hindus and atheists and what other people would have been worshipping at the same time there, that this was a mass murder that's being covered up and excused as some sort of terrorist insurgent action, when really that this was a highly aggressive move against people that have been militarized since our sixth guru. The Akal Takht was created by Guru Har Gobind Ji Maharaj, who instituted Midi Pidi, the two swords, the temporal and the timal, so the religious and the political seat, which is the Akal Takht. So this is a religious practice that has been going on in those grounds since our sixth guru. Even though our 10th guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, created the Khalsa, that this is something that has been a response to outside pressure, where our 5th guru, Guru Arjan Ji Maharaj, said to his son, you need to militarize, create a standing order. This was as he was being executed. So you got to understand that this is something that's been going on for hundreds of years.
Well, it was Guru
And,
Arjan. It was Guru Arjan Dev
the
Ji's
justification.
Shaheed, I think. When Guru Arjan, the fifth Guru, I think it wasn't it Guru Arjan Dev
Exactly.
Ji's
Well,
Shaheed Day?
of the invasion, but I guess what I want to really get people to open their eyes to a little bit is the way that this is being whitewashed as something far other than really what happened on that day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, yeah, I do support Bhindranwale. I do support Khalistan up to a point. I'm more of a Punjab separatist now, but I was a Khalistani when I was younger. But there are certain things that I can't, I have to explain why there were certain things. You have to understand, yeah, unless you come from because you've converted to Sikhism, you need to understand, as somebody that's from a Sikh family, my family doesn't agree with Bhindranwale. In fact, it took me months, like a year, to get my mum to agree for me to do Bhindranwale's portrait. Yeah, because I wanted to do his portrait, and she doesn't like Bhindranwale. She didn't like Bhindranwale because of the amount of propaganda that's been put against him. Now I'll explain why there's this kind of kind of split, because there is a split. Not everybody likes Bhindranwale. I'm telling you straight now. There's a lot of Sikhs that think that he was in the wrong. I'm not one of them. I think it's more balanced. I still believe the Indian government is the main culprit because they chose to attack here on a particular time and date in order to cause maximum damage and hardship to the Sikh people. And so, but that doesn't mean Bhindranwale did no wrong, because he did do a few things that, as I've got older, I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe that was why my mum was upset with him, because my mum, even till today, doesn't like certain things about Bhindranwale.
Yeah, the biggest problem was when he entered into the Akal. So, where the Guru Granth Sahib Ji is, there's a room above it. So the problem with Bhindranwale, the mistake he made, the critical mistake he made, was entering into the holiest temple and then, living on top. So the Jathedar, the main priest in the Gurdwara,
Longarwal was
he was against it. He was like, no, you can't. You want to do your political or whatever thing that you want to do it, but don't do it. Inside the holiest place. Don't. It's like sacrilegious that you're gonna live, because since no guru or even leader has stayed on the floor above the Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Okay, so his name is Tora. Okay, but then because the situation was fluid, he said, okay, what can you do?
And that's the in the Golden Temple where the golden bit is, I'm assuming, at the top.
Yeah. So imagine for the Muslims. Imagine some Muslims came in and said, we want to stay inside the Kaaba of Mecca. So it's like
or Catholics going to the Vatican saying we're going to stay in the Vatican.
Yeah, so it's like that was, I would say, the negative thing. The negative thing that the Indian government did was that
Can I just say something before you go on? That's my problem, because that's my problem.
That's my problem too.
Yeah, because that's the problem my mum has with it. That's my problem my dad has with him. That's my problem. They don't disagree, because then we'll go over the non-pool resolution, because Bhindranwale's kind of aims were actually really good, in my opinion. I don't think there was that many things in his aims that I disagree with. And even overall, I don't disagree with him on a lot of stuff. But the one thing as I grew up here, as I've grown up and started to understand, I was like, you shouldn't have gone into the Akal Takht. You shouldn't have gone into the Golden Temple. That's kind of once you cross that line, then, the Indian government, is going to use that as an excuse to freaking, bomb the hell out of the place. They're going to use that.
No, that was fucked up. That's the thing where it went all tits up. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Forgive me for interrupting. But I mean, as much as this is presented to the world now as the excuse for the attack, I mean, wasn't the Indian government preparing for this attack before Bhindranwale and his men and the Jatha occupied the temple complex? Isn't there evidence that's come to light that Margaret Thatcher's government helped them to plan the attack by creating a model in the Doon Valley of the complex and practicing assaults, that Bhindranwale, just like everyone else, was fully aware that that this statement had been made by Indira Gandhi, that the back of the Sikhs needed to be broken.
Yeah,
that really this was a response.
What I'm going to do is to go for the timeline, because I've got a timeline and stuff, so people kind of understand what happened. Let me just play this quick video. It's going to have to be on mute because I don't want to get a stripe. It's for AP, so hopefully I can play it and pause it. So this is a video footage of the time of the attack in 1984. I just want to play that bit so people can just get an understanding. I have to mute it. So. So you can see Indian soldiers walking in after the attack. I think this is probably after the attack. Let me just forward it. So you can see here the Indian soldiers. A lot of Sikhs mutinied, refusing to attack the Golden Temple. You can see bullet shots and destruction of the Golden Temple, or Harimandir Sahib, which is the surroundings. I mean, there was some, I mean, I don't know what these guys are doing, man. The Sikhs here, it's disgraceful when I see Sikhs, doing that, man.
Yeah, just because he got a bug in his head, don't make him a sing.
Yeah, so you can see, I mean, all right, if you're helping people remove them safely from the complex, okay. But if you're shooting people in the Harimandir Sahib, you're a disgrace. Any Sikh soldier did that, you're disgraced. You can see, like,
there's no justification to attack. They could have done many other different ways to get them out. Like, there was many ways you could have negotiated. And that's what Subramaniam Swami was trying to do. He was trying to negotiate a settlement where things can die down peacefully. But the Congress Party, because of their electioneering, and because she was guided by the wrong people. Her husband Jahangir, was guiding her. She herself was spaced out. And she even knew, like, when she did that, the first thing that came out from her mouth is that she's dead. Like, she knew that that's it. The time has come. But what she did was, I think she had a realization after a couple hours that what she did was a major mistake. Like, there was no real justification to go in the first place. You could have easily isolated the whole area, prevented any arms or weapons from going in. It didn't need to end up the way it ended up. But that doesn't mean what Bhindranwale did was also correct. He was also misguided, because when a lot of the Sikhs of Gyani Pratap Singh, he was the Jathedar, he was the main priest before, he was a farmer, he was a very elderly individual. He was speaking against what Bhindranwale was doing. Was when you enter into the holiest shrine, into the holiest place, then you have to, you can't just go in there for political issues. So if it's like, imagine me, Raj, and Flexi go into the local Gurdwara with a couple of guns, and we want to do something. That's not going to be appropriate. You're kind of, it's a holy place. You're kind of, violating the sacredness of it. So,
right, so let me just play this quick audio of Bhindranwale. I think I should be able to get away with this. Just don't worry, this thing he did.
ਜੋ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਮੰਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੇ ਹਮਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ, ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁਰਜੋਰ ਅਪੀਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹਦਾ ਮੂੰਹ ਤੋੜਵਾਂ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇਣ, ਕੇਵਲ ਕਮਰ ਕਸਾ ਨਾ ਕਰਨ, ਕਮਰ ਕਸਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਰਨ। ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਇਦੋਂ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਵੱਡੀ ਗੁਲਾਮੀ ਦੀ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੁਣ ਪਾਪ ਹੋਇਆ।
Jarnai Singh Bhindranwale claimed the government was set on genocide.
ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਸਰੂਪ ਨੂੰ ਪਸੰਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਆਸ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪੂਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਣੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਸਰੂਪ ਨੂੰ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹਕੂਮਤਾਂ ਹੋ ਗੁਜ਼ਰੀਆਂ, ਇਹਨੇ ਵੀ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਚਲੀ ਜਾਣਾ।
See, I think Bhindranwale's got an amazing voice, though. Don't you think?
Yeah, he wasn't. So, okay, one criticism is that they were saying that he was anti-Hindu. He wasn't anti-Hindu. Even the sect that he belongs to was heavily influenced by Advaita Hinduism. He wasn't against Hindus. There's a lot of propaganda that he wanted to get rid of the Hindus and he wanted to make into like a Sikh caliphate or something. No. If you look at even like his earlier,
very true.
They never had anything against any religion. What he wanted to do was kind of make the Sikhs more faithful, kind of spiritually guide them. He didn't have any...
because just so that people understand, at the time there was a lot of drug use, a lot of alcoholism, a lot of people losing their faith, and he was bringing people back to the basics of the Sikh religion. And he done a lot. And in my opinion, like, you know, there's a lot of good things about Bhindranwale. I actually do support Bhindranwale. That's why I did his portrait. I know some people say, Raj, you're supporting X, Y, Z, but I think, you know, when there's a lot of misinformation about Bhindranwale. This is one of the things that I had to educate my mum on. I was like, you know, like, because it's a very black and white kind of view on him in the Sikh community sometimes. Like, you know, they think that the older population, like my mum, my parents, just saw him as a guy that went into the Golden Temple, caused trouble, and then the Indian government attacked. So they are against the Indian government, but they're also against Bhindranwale. What I'm going to do is, I think I've got another better kind of view of Bhindranwale, because let me just have a look. Let me see if I can get this video up. So this is days before.
Like you were saying, Raji, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that he was helping out Hindus that were in trouble in the community, and that, like, if he's going to be a Pracharak of that level, he's going to, you know, have the best intentions for everyone. I mean, that's really the foundation. That's the reason why Khalsa will, Raj, is because of Sabbatabala.
Now have a look at this. These guys are obviously Hindu. Yeah.
Dude, the biggest RSS dude, Subramaniam Swami, right?
Have a look at your.
He said it himself. He said it himself.
If I have a look at the video on here, just before the Golden Temple attack here, who are these guys? These are obviously Hindus. Yeah, there's Bhindranwale here. If he hated Hindus, he hated the Indian government the same way. I hate the Indian government, but I don't hate Hindus. Yeah, do you understand? Like, he was probably the same. I don't like the Indian government. I don't agree with the Indian state. I believe India.
Of course. That's not true, because a lot of people, they mix things up. I'm like, nah, he was never against they try to paint Bhindranwale as a really militant, you know, like a Taliban-y person, but he was not. He was the whole thing got twisted later on. And if you study the history through a neutral lens, you'll fully understand that basically what happened was that Punjab became like a football, like a kicking ball between the West and the Soviets. And, you know, the Soviets were pressuring Indira Gandhi that, oh, you're going to get something like what's happening in Afghanistan. So, you know, you want to nip that thing in the bud. She was influenced by her husband, Jahangir, and other advisors. And at the end of the day, it was a clusterfuck, okay, in which they took the Sikhs who were innocent, who were peaceful. They weren't doing any, you know, violence inside the Golden Temple. But
well, I mean, after 1947, the people that got the most shafted were the Punjabi or the Sikhs in the Punjab, because, you know, not only was the Punjab split, we got the lower half of the split, only 40%. On top of that, you're looking at all the deaths that happened when people migrated over. You're looking at Haryana and other areas kind of being split off, and the Punjab was split again into smaller states. But the water was being taken from Punjab, and they wanted, I mean, right now I think it's 75% of the water is going to other states. And then at that time, Indira Gandhi was creating a canal. I forgot what the canal's name is, and she wanted to take another 15%, leaving basically the Punjab kind of destitute in terms of when it comes to water and stuff like this. So there was a lot.
This is a farming community. Like, this is often called the breadbasket of India. That you've got to imagine that the Punjabi 5 rivers. That this is an area of rivers and of farming, and that they're going to be like redirecting the water to other states, and then all other means that have been used to cripple the backs of the farming communities in the Punjab. But it's clearly, like I said before, this has been an attempt to break the back of the Sikh nation.
No, so the state thing, that is a little bit more nuanced. So do you know about the Bhakra Nangal? So do you guys have land in Punjab? Like, my family, we have a lot of land in Punjab. So, you know, one of the biggest dams is the Bhakra Nangal Dam. The Bhakra Nangal Dam, it's in Punjab. It's on the border, okay? It's on near Himachal. So that's a dam that was built. What happened was that when India got independence, they chose the socialist model. And in socialism, it was basically, they took this from the Soviet Union. They nationalized all the landholdings. So traditionally, if you look at the size of Punjab, we had a lot of little landholders, okay, like the elite, and we owned massive properties of land. So what happened was that when India got independence, they took out the princely states. So the Maharaja Patiala, so that's why you see the Congress party, he joined the Congress party, Captain Amarendra Singh, but actually he was the Maharaja Patiala. He basically ruled over thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of land. But when the Indian government formed, they nationalized those holdings. So now what happened was that the peasants who were working on the land, so the regular farmers, they then inherited that land. So each person got like a couple canal, like they call it canal, but it's like a couple acres of jameen. So now what happened was that now the land got nationalized, and then what happened was that so understand the Sikh population in the traditional Punjab, it was never that big. Even during the time of Maharaja Singh, we were only like 5%. Okay,
Yeah,
so what
exactly.
happened when the partition happened? The Punjab that was Haryana and Himachal Pradesh and our Punjab and parts of Kashmir, it became nationalized. So all the lands just went to the local people who were farming there. A lot of those local people they didn't even speak Punjabi. They would speak Himachali, they would speak Haryanvi, they would speak Hindi or something. So then that's why what happened was that when they nationalized all this thing, it went to the local farmers, and then the Sikh, the landowners, so part of our group, we got shafted because we lost our land. So our family had land in Himachal, we had land in Haryana, we lost that. Okay, but it was a give and take. So in Pakistan, so if you compare it to Pakistan isn't, till date they don't have that. So they still have they call it Jagirdari system. It's like a feudal system. So the Jagirdari system is still active in Pakistan. That's why the landowners in Pakistan are rich like crazy, and they have huge influence in politics. While the landowners, the traditional landowners in India who were in the princely states, they basically lost their money overnight. They basically lost huge amounts of land overnight. It could be a good thing and a bad thing. It could be a good thing for the poor, a bad thing for the traditionally rich people who were owning all that. So I would say that's more nuanced. So that's why when they broke up the states, they had a state of Haryana. So they're all the majority Hindus and they're speaking Hindi. Himachal Pradesh, they don't even speak Punjabi. They speak a mountain dialect. And then they have Punjab. One thing I don't like is I don't know why we have to. What the Indian government did was they made Chandigarh and they made that into a combined.
Yeah, like a combined state.
I'm like, dude, Punjab was big enough to have its own capital. We could have it in Amritsar. We don't have to have a shared, we're not like having a shared capital with another state is kind of stupid. So that's the thing.
Let me explain something. See this drawing I've done here of Bhindranwale? I did it around 5 years ago. It took me 1 year because I didn't want to do any drawings that were related to kind of Sikh culture or Punjabi culture or Sikhism without my mother's permission. I don't like doing Sikh artwork unless she allows me to. So I asked her. She was like, no, not Bhindranwale, not Bhindranwale. I kept on asking why can't I drop Bhindranwale? Why can't I drop Bhindranwale? And then I started realizing that there's one main reason why my mum didn't like him is that there's two actually. First of all, there's a lot of misinformation about Bhindranwale from the Indian government, because at the time, we didn't have the internet and stuff like that, so everything was coming out from the BBC News. This was another thingy, and there was no real channels. Like the Guard channel right now is banned in India as of 2 days ago, and they're very pro-Khalistani, so the Indian government has banned them now on YouTube, Facebook, and also their channel. And so now you can get more of a nuanced understanding of Bhindranwale, whereas then it was just very one-dimensional. Either you supported him or you was against him. There was no, but one thing everyone did agree with is that the attack on the Golden Temple was a disgrace. Even if you didn't support Bhindranwale, 99% of Sikhs would say the attack on the Golden Temple was not warranted and is a stain on Indian kind of like history. I need to go through two things here. So firstly, I need to go through the Nandapur resolution, because just quickly,
Can I say one thing though before that, please, Raj?
Yeah, go on.
Is that the amount of posts I've seen online and the amount of discussions I've got into with my Hindustani brothers who will, have exactly the same statement as you just made, but will follow it up with a but. He did have like weapons and this, that, the other, and it's like, wait, what are you saying? They're like, yeah, it's a terrible part of our history, but he did this and he did want to divide Mother India and whatnot. And I'm like, look,
no, but
this is not really a debate about
that's the thing. That's the propaganda. He didn't. He wasn't looking for a separate country. See, what happens is so if you look at Subramaniam Swami, you look at some of these the Hindu nationalists, right? They explained it pretty well. They're actually trying to rehabilitate his image. I don't know if you know that, but in India, Bhindranwale is trying to the BJP. You may not like them, but they are trying to rehabilitate his image and try to get those files and documents that have been hidden away by the Congress for many years and try to get the truth out. What happened was that Bhindranwale didn't have this idea where he wants to have like a separate country. He wanted the Sikhs to be spiritually rejuvenated. What happened was that in the Akal Takht, when he came in, now understand the Nihang Sikhs, right? They are legally allowed in India to carry weapons. They're legally allowed to have guns. It's their constitutional right. They're the only group in all of India because India has extremely strict gun laws. You cannot get a gun easily. So the Nihang Sikhs are easy. All of them have guns. Now what happened was that when the Nihangs, certain amount
that's what he did. I need to find that video, man, because this is how the first time, like, I was with Flexi, and like, he was in the background, and I was doing a talk, and he said, "Bole, Sonia," and I was like, I need to find that video. That's a classic video. I still can't find it though. I don't know which video it's on. I need to get it.
So the point I'm trying to make is that the weapons that were there so there's two things. One, originally the weapons that were there belonged to the Nihang Sikhs. So it wasn't like they were planning, they had this idea that, we're going to make, the Akal Takht like Alamo and we're going to put weapons in there. No. What did happen though was that as the thing went on, certain factions within the group started smuggling from the Pakistani ISI heavy duty or weapons, like ammunition. That is wrong. You don't bring in heavy duty ammunition, into the holy shrine. Now, if you're Nihang Sikh and you're bringing in, your regular weapons, your regular amount of ammo, that's fine because they've always done that. But don't try to. So people with the Indians, sometimes they mess things up because they think that there's a gun there, that suddenly this is like a militant thing. No, that's not. It's not a militant thing. The Nihang Sikhs all carry guns. But what did happen was that there was an infiltration.
Sahai.
So there was an infiltration where you had ammunition. So you had 0.7 mm. So that's thing that that's not normal Nihang Sikh ammunition. That's like some shit that just came out from America. That came into the Akal Takht.
Yeah, I mean this is the thing. I'm gonna be honest, and some people are gonna go, Raj, no, you can't be. No. I want to be honest about it. Like there is one thing that I didn't like. And that was what you said earlier, kind of fortifying themselves in a particular area of the Harminder Sahib, like that. Do you understand? Like bringing weapons in there and stuff like that. I think that was a mistake that I kind of like in hindsight, as I've got older, I'm like, no, that was not the right thing to do. Now, most of the stuff.
No, because if you look at
I disagree with that, brother. I believe that Shastadaris were given Siddhi Singh Sahabji by Maharaja Guru Gobind Singh Ji, that a true Khalsa Ji with his Panjbani in the morning has full right to be fully shasted up to the nine.
No, you're carried rifles. Before I go on, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying they shouldn't be armed. I'm not saying they shouldn't fight for their rights. I'm saying the place that they hold up in, so they kind of secure themselves in the Harminder Sahib, in the actual the Golden Temple, where the Guru Granth Sahib was. What was it exactly?
But were they in the Akal Takht?
I still believe that once they got into that place, it gave the Indian government the kind of like, okay, we want to destroy the Harminder Sahib, we want to destroy the Akal Takht. This gives us a reason now to do it. Yeah, it was kind of like it played into their trap, in my opinion. Yeah, because they wanted it. They wanted to cause.
Brother man, that sounds to me like that sounds to me like you're saying that the Guru was wrong. The Guru
never said you can carry a AK-47 machine guns. So at the end of the day, we cannot become fanatical the way the Muslims have done. We have to be kind of level-headed. So in the sense that with the Gurus, what they commanded us, and all the Sikhs be armed. No, be armed, but it has to be in a just way. Not that.
No. I think you are not understanding what I'm saying. I don't care if you carry a goddamn rocket launcher. I don't care if you're carrying a freaking a machine gun that can spray out 1 billion bullets a second. I'm saying where you take those weaponry into. You understand? It's not about.
That's my point exactly.
If I was a soldier, I'd be like, give me everything.
Yeah, but we have Shasta in front of the Guru. Like the Guru is surrounded by Shasta.
So let me go. This is where.
Is it a godmother without Shasta?
All right, so this
that's fine. I agree with that point. I'm talking about any. So imagine me, Raj, and Flexi. We go to the local, Sikh temple because we want to do a political thing or we want to do some political protest. We go into the local gurdwara with packed with machine guns and rocket launchers. Now that's not right. Okay, that's twisting the true meaning of what Shastra is. So we have a political agenda. We're not allowed to go into a gurdwara with armed up and then say, oh, we want to do X and X demands.
But forgive me for interrupting, brother. I mean, we are not Panch Pyare. We are not Khalsa. We're not Amrit. But the truth is that we are ordered to be remain ready, and that if we have to be ready to jump up and fight for everyone if it's right. With a 100% coming from Maharaj. This is not about us deciding anything.
No, but I'm saying
one minute. We're getting caught up into something that we're not even arguing. I'm not arguing that Sikhs should not be armed. No, you should be armed. I'm not even arguing that you can't carry a rocket launcher. I'll carry a rocket launcher if I had to. I don't give a shit. Like, if I'm in a war, I'm carrying everything, yeah? I'm saying there's a specific place within the Golden Temple, which is it's like a sanctuary. Like, I don't believe there should be kind of like weaponry in there, and that was in the the main part.
But we sanctify it with weapons.
I'm talking about ready to go to war.
We use weapons.
Raj is talking about the traditional weapons that were there, not like bringing in like a rocket launcher next to. I mean, I understand your point, Flexi. You are correct in certain ways. So if you go to the Golden Temple, they have like a room where they have all the weapons of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, and they have his like the top. They call it the top. They have the guns,
rifles.
The original weapons. But
what I'm cannons.
And cannons. But what I'm saying is that it does not behoove any Sikh to go in there with outside weapons with a political aim or a political agenda. Because once you do that, then you'll have any group. Any group can go in. You can have, let's say, 3HO tomorrow. The 3HO, they're Sikhs, and they can go in with AK-47s and go into those Golden Temple and say, hey, we want everyone to start doing yoga. Or we can have another group that goes in there with some other agenda saying, oh, we want to make a little Jat country, Jatistan. So that's where we have there's something called the spirit of the law and the written version of the law. So you have to follow the written version of the law, but also the spirit of the law. It doesn't give an open, season that, okay, anyone can just come in there and whoever has the most guns is right, or right makes might. So, or might makes right.
I mean, that's why we have Panch Tucks, though, really, isn't it? The reason why the Guru was so foresighted in that this is 1 out of 5 thrones of the Sikhs, and that now with the amount of things that are spread internationally, that there still isn't like a consensus, council of Panch Pyare. Like, I guess that's really is the way is to go via the example of the Gurus and with Guru Granth Sahib Ji at the top. And then to Panch Pyare is to formulate. And so we can't have Jathi Bandis jumping up everywhere and like creating like little civil wars. I mean, because really that's we need a united Khalsa if we're really going to have
that's why. So Baji, I don't know if you've I have you ever seen a committee meeting in the Gurdwara? Have you ever been to a? So let me tell you something. I was all gung ho when I was younger.
That's my point exactly.
Yeah. So if you go to a committee meeting,
that's my point exactly. It's not committees. I'm talking about Panch Pyare. Not committee, Panch Pyare.
No, I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that's why I'm always like separating politics from religion, because whenever you mix two things together, it just creates a toxic mess. Now, if you can say that, when we had during the time of the Gurus, there's one thing called Miri Piri, which people kind of misinterpret. Miri Piri means the temporal and the eternal. Okay, it means the combination. What it means is that we do not, as Sikhs, disengage from the outside world. So, for example, the reason he said Miri Piri was that a lot of the Hindus, they were like, this world doesn't matter. We, just detach ourselves from the world. We remove ourselves from the world. Whatever happens to us, we'll allow it. That's why they were so easily invaded by the foreign, armies. What Miri Piri meant was that we as Sikhs have to make sure that we are spiritually sound and also materially connected. But that does not mean that we become like, influence the religion itself. The spirituality starts influencing everyday politics. What I want is
I'm not arguing with what you said. Sorry, brother, I'm not arguing with what we just stated, but I've also heard it interpreted that the two swords of Midi Pidi with Guru Har Gobind Ji Maharaj was that he was the religious king and he was the political king. That it's the temporal and timal in that it is it's a militant political stance, but also the Guru, which is a spiritual position.
I mean, I've got the Khanda up
it's
now.
the two thrones in one.
Sorry, so if you look at the screen, it's probably not the most appropriate, but I finally found a drawing of someone actually in my Khanda design. So obviously you got the spiritual and the political here with the Midi Pidi. But the thing is that this is on the back of there. But I want to kind of get back to Lochan. Stop calling Raindrop some kind of Hindu Rain Man. Yeah, there are lots. Let me explain to you. There are lots of Sikhs that disagree with us. It doesn't mean they're Hindus. I know a lot of Sikhs.
There's something for everyone, isn't there? Everyone has a place.
Yeah, they're pro-Indian. There are Sikhs that are part of the BJP. I don't agree with it. There are Sikhs that are aligned with the BJP and other people. I don't agree with them, but they're still Sikhs. Yeah,
dude, I don't think Lochan's a clown, dude. I have my family ancestry that dates back all the way to Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So he's no one to tell me that I'm whatever.
Yeah, but I'm just sick and tired of this mentality because he did that to me as well. I don't have no issue with the Lochan now. But the one thing I've always annoyed me about him was that if you don't agree with his point of view, you're then not a Sikh. And this is the thingy. And I do agree with one thing with him, yeah. If you're not against Modi, yeah, I do question Sikhs. I'm going to be honest with you, Raindrop. When I see Sikhs with the BJP, or I see Sikhs supporting Modi, I do question, like, dude, what is wrong with you? I'm not gonna lie. That's me.
Yeah, that's I'm not. Look, I said big up Modi because the Muslims were saying big up Aurangzeb. So to me, I view Modi as the same way that the Muslims would view Aurangzeb. Like so if you're pro Aurangzeb, then from me, you're just gonna get a big up Modi.
Yeah, I'm not
understand, why it's so.
Yeah, I understand why you say it sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm not a card-carrying member of the BJP.
Yeah, but there are Sikhs that are card-carrying members of the BJP.
Yeah, of course. Why the hell did they join the Congress? The same Congress that. Yeah, but why would they join the Congress Party? The same Congress Party that attacked the Golden Temple. Like, whatever you want to say about the BJP,
one minute. The difference between the Congress Party and the BJP is the Congress Party is not based around some Hindu fundamentalism. The Congress Party are just bitches, yeah, and are just a disgrace. What they did was more to kind of crush the Sikhs. Yeah. When it comes to the BJP, they are a Hindu fundamentalist party that want a Hindu nation, and they don't care whether they kill Muslims, whether they crush the Sikhs. They want us to be like a subservient military arm of the Hindu nation. And the thing is, I got nothing against Hindus, but I do have a problem with the BJP and the RSS and people like that because I believe they're enemies of the Sikhs, in my opinion, and that doesn't mean that any Sikhs that support them. I'm not going to call you a Hindu because there's lots of Sikhs that support the BJP. Loads of them. I mean, just go to India and you see how many Sikhs are in the BJP party, and it is embarrassing. I'm not going to lie, but that's just the way it is. I just don't like people. I
don't support any political party. I don't support anyone because I think politics is just it doesn't really matter what you call yourself. You're still going to be a thief and a crook. Sorry. So I don't support any political party.
We need to remember the teachings of the Guru, right? We need to always bring it back to the ik, and that when we get divided, that's how like we go round and round in the Maya. That like as much as I'm a human, I'm fully full of homi and I'm I get caught into it just like everyone else. I have to always constantly come back to the ik, and like if we really try and we remind ourselves that we are all one, that there is only one. That Akal Purakh Vaheguru gave us Guru Granth Sahib Ji for the betterment of all of humanity. It doesn't mean you got to become Sikh. I mean, that's not what I'm saying at all. But the Guru here is to bring Deg Fateh, food and freedom for all of humanity. And I guess that's really what I really wouldn't mind if we go a little bit towards Brother G in that when I think of Khalsa Raj, I think of more of like a news report I saw recently from New Zealand, where the local government was expressing to everyone in the local community, be them European descents, the Maori, everyone in the area, that if there is a national disaster, that they should go to the local Gurdwara. that within the Gurdwara, that they're prepared, they've got food, they've got big kitchens ready for everyone, they've got their own wells, they've got weapons if need be and ready to defend. That the local government in New Zealand was expressing that if there's trouble in times, that you guys need to go to the Sikhs for your protection because we can't take care of you.
Yeah, I need to just address something. Blah blah. Let me just put you in your place. You need to shut your mouth, you little. I'm not going to even say anything. Don't try moderating what I can put onto my screen and what I can promote, because I'll block your ass. Yeah, I don't care if you've been on my channel for 10 years. Don't think you can regulate me and tell me what I can put onto my channel. If I want to put a tattoo of a kanda, I'll put it.
Raj is a warrior. He's got the daya, but does he have the dharam?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously need to kind of refine myself and get the spirituality. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But I'm not having people regulate what I can put into my channel. Yeah.
Yeah. So just I want to finish up with.
Hold on. I can't. One minute. I can regulate you, blah blah. I can time you out. I can block you, and you can't do that to me. All you can do is leave. Yeah. So I'm just saying to anybody out there who thinks they can tell me what I can put onto my screen, what I can talk about it on my own channel, I can regulate you because I can block you. So I don't care if you've been on my channel for 5 years, 2 years, 3 years, you've been supporting me for 100 years. Do not think you can start going, Raj, you can't put tattoos up. No, I'll put what I want up. That's one warning shot. Make sure you understand that and you keep on running your mouth like that. I'll time you, and at some point I'll block you. So yeah, let's carry on. So what I want to do,
I guess what I'm all shot.
No, I need to go for the timeline.
Sorry, man. Is the daya like you're full? All right, sorry, forgive me. Go for it.
I need to get the show track back onto track here, which is gonna be going through the timeline, yeah, of what happened during that time. Yeah, so let me just go through it because I think it's better to start from the beginning. Now, this is going to be a bit biased here, and I think Google is very biased. I'm not going to lie here. Google is very biased. So I'm still going to use it because it's the most clearest one, but I will kind of like anything I read out, take with a grain of salt, because when I read the 1984 kind of like description of what was going on Google, they were very biased. Yeah. So if you look at this, it says in can everyone see it? I might need to actually thingy it. All right, so March 1972, Akalis rooted in Punjab elections, Congress wins. 17 October 1970, Akali asked for their rights through a non-pool resolution, which I'll need to go through at some point today. So the non-pool resolution was basically, I'll have to go through it, the whole thing there. 1980, Gurbachan Singh of Sikh Ninkani sect shot dead. Now, who did that? Whether it was from Bhindranwale, that's up to debate. Akalis lose election in Punjab. 1981, Sikhs in Golden Temple meet foreign correspondents. 9th September, Jagat Narain, editor, was murdered. I don't know who the hell that is. 1981, Sikh separatists are killed in an Indian jetliner in Pakistan when they hijack it. I need to just double check that because I'll be honest, a lot of this stuff I don't even know if it's true. So
the Air India attack is a very complicated subject.
Yeah, so let's before. So arms. All right, so 1982, armed Sikh militants stormed the parliament in protest related to the deaths of 36 Sikhs in police custody. Now that's important because let me just check something on it. Oh, let me say something. Yeah, blah blah. I got no issue with you. Yeah, I got no issue with you. But don't start preaching to me if I put a picture of a tattoo, yeah, if I want to do that on my own channel. I got no issue with you, but don't start preaching to me like, oh, this is against Sikh, you can't do tattoos and stuff. Okay, fair enough. But I'm talking about, I'm not talking about Sikh theology at the moment. I'm showing the khanda of my design. If I want to put that up, I'll put it up. It's none of your business. You just don't need to watch. But I got no issue with you. I got no issue with you. You've always been pretty cool with me, but I'm not going to accept people trying to regulate me on my own show, what I can put up, what I can't. You can advise me, fair enough, but don't try and regulate me. So yeah, so then you have what is it? Yeah, so there was a lot of killings of Sikhs in the Punjab by the authorities over a period of time. I mean, you're looking at probably thousands went missing, thousands of people, especially young men, were killed in police custody over, like a period of time. Akalis demand autonomy and additional regions for Punjab. So Sikhs, so 1982 Sikh stage protests in the Indian Parliament. Now, this is the guy called Longarwal. I need to get his picture up. He threatens to disrupt Asian Games. I think Longarwal was the head of, was he the head of the Kalpat? I can't remember.
He was negotiating with the Indian government.
Okay, all right, yeah. No, he wasn't in the beginning though, was he? He's the one that
he was one of the ones negotiating for Bhindranwale's arrest.
No, that was after.
Yeah, after.
Yeah, but in the beginning, he was a supporter of Bhindranwale.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that allowed. He's the one that.
Yeah, he's the one who allowed him in. But he was hesitant, but he allowed him in.
He's the one that actually invited him to come over to, because the police were after Bhindranwale. From my understanding, they were after Bhindranwale, and so they decided to. Oh my God! Well, let me just address this. Blah blah, blah blah. I don't like being told what to do. Yeah. All I'm saying to you, you can advise me, but don't come across as preachy. I got no issue with you. Yeah. I got no issue with you, but don't come across as preachy and trying to regulate my show. This is against Sikhism and all that kind of stuff. Fair enough. If it's against Sikhism, fair enough. But if I want to put a picture up of a tattoo of one of my designs, I'm going to put it up on my channel. It's my channel. You can say what you want. But if you don't like it, there's nothing you can do. I'll put the picture up again. Yeah. If you want to leave, you can leave. I've got no problem with you, but don't think people can start coming onto my channel telling me what I can or cannot put up on my own show. So let me.
I'm thinking about taking it on my back too, brother.
I don't know about that, man. Maybe it'll probably kill you getting that done. It'll be a. So yeah. So basically, it was Longarwal who actually was a big supporter of Bhindranwale, and in the beginning, he allowed him into the Golden Temple to give him protection against the police. And the reason being is because I think they thought that if he was in the Golden Temple, the Indian government wouldn't dare to go in there and actually try and storm the Golden Temple. Yeah. So yeah. But obviously, something happened over the time that I need to figure out. I think they fell out, and then things started to go a bit pear-shaped. Sikhs permitted to carry daggers in domestic flights. 1983 Punjab Police Deputy Inspector A.S. Atwal was shot then as he left the Harminder Sahib compound by gunmen from Bhindranwale's group. I mean, that's an allegation, if that's true. Sanjay talks of violence being perpetrated against Sikhs and for India to understand. 4 policemen killed by Sikh. Senior independent police wounded and guards killed Sikh militants. 5 prisoners, 600 passengers. President rules 3 people killed in a bombing. Let me just go down. Young woman, please. 12 people killed. See, seems very biased in my opinion. Yeah. Now, like, it seems very biased. This is why when I was reading the Google, this is the problem with Google. Like, whoever writes it is in control. So let's go from the thingy. So 1984, yeah, by this time, so February of 1984, by this time the temple had become the center of the 19th month old uprising by the separated Sikhs. Harban Singh Machanda, the Delhi Sikh Gurudwara Management Committee, president murdered. He demanded ouster of Bhindranwale from the Akal Takht a few days before. I didn't know about that. So Delhi Sikh Gurudwara Committee. So militants calls for. See, this is not even Longarwal writes he cannot control. So this is the thing. Longarwal. Let me just get Longarwal here. This is Longarwal. Yeah, and he was the guy that actually invited him first, and then he starts collaborating with the Indian government to get him out. Surinder Singh Sodhi, follow-up Bhindranwale shot dead at the temple by a man and a woman. The deaths of 3 Sikh activists in factional fighting. 27 Firozpur politician killed after confessing to fake police against total media and the press blackout in Punjab. The railroad and air service in Punjab suspended. Foreigners and RIs entry was also banned, and water and electricity supply cut off. Army takes control of Punjab. Operation Blue Star to remove militants. So from the 1st of June to the 8th. So Operation Blue Star on the 5th of June to remove militants from Harminder Sahib commences. Punjab shut down from outside world. Yeah, I remember this time. 6th of June, day-long battle in Temple. 7th of June, Harminder Sahib overtaken by the army. 7th of June, Janel Singh Bhindranwale shot dead. 8th of June, 27 Sikhs killed in protest in Srinagar, Ludhiana, that's where my family's from. Amritsar, after government forces fired on protesters. Yeah, so that's kind of like a basic kind of like overview of what happened. Okay, so yeah, I mean, look, yeah, I'm not going to say, like I said before, I have certain issues, yeah, with certain things, but it doesn't mean that, you know, they had the right to storm the Golden Temple. I think this is what people need to kind of understand. People can have differing views and say, okay, we don't agree with Bhindranwale, or we do agree with Bhindranwale. You can be like me, where I'm in the middle. I support Bhindranwale, but I'm not, you know, I'm not somebody that doesn't criticize him, but I do support him. But the storming of the Golden Temple was totally uncalled for. The way they did it was a disgrace. The timing they did it was to cause maximum damage. And like Flexi said, to break the backs of the Sikhs. That is why they did it at that time. They could have waited. They could have done it in so many different ways and much more, let's say, you know, much more kind of like less damaging way. They could have went in a less damaging, but they did it in a way that they knew would cause a maximum amount of offense and a maximum amount of damage to the Sikh morale. Unfortunately, it kind of backfired on them, because even people that were not Khalistanis, after the attack on the Golden Temple, they become Khalistanis. I remember there were people that one of my cousins was like that. Yeah, it caused people to become Khalistan. I was never a Khalistani. I didn't even know what was going on when I was younger. I just remember watching the TV, because I remember this going on, and my mum being upset and, like, you know, not really understanding. I just come back from India maybe 2 months, I think 2 or 3 years prior to that. And I don't remember that much trouble down there, to be honest with you. I can't remember. But then again, I was very young. I can't remember exactly what was going on. Anyway, you two kind of like discuss a bit. I just need to quickly just do something.
Well, I clearly think that this shows the morality of the people involved in that attack, and that the morality of the people who try to justify it. That really, that what this is all about for me is showing that the Guru is the epitome of morality. That the ethics involved within the Khalsa Raj is really it's unparalleled in human history. Even the atheist Nobel Prize winner Bertrand Russell, who had no theism at all, stated that he believed that it'd be the Sikhs that would lead humanity after World War III. That really what is offered within Khalsa Raj is the well-being for everyone. That it's not a discussion I really am educated enough to get into when it comes to Khalistan and borders of like and the Sikh separatist movement, but something that I'm fully committed to, and no one can argue with, is the righteousness, the just rule of the Dharam Daya, the brave just rule, which is promised within Khalsa Raj, which is it might take us 1,000 years, but I do believe that Akal put
sorry,
it.
Sorry, I had to go. I'm sorry, I missed a lot, so I don't know what you guys were talking about. But I do agree, Flexi, with what you said about the Khalsa Raj, in the sense that I agree with the principles. I believe that the whole of India should try to aspire to the principles of Khalsa Raj. But now I don't. That doesn't mean though that the laws and the government is being run by the scripture. What I want is that the principles has to be emulated and not necessarily have the religion influencing law to, that we have like laws. I don't want to become like, how with Islam, the Muslims, they're in a clusterfuck, they're in a shithole. Why? Because they've mixed politics and their religion. They have their little Sharia. Then you have 10 Muslims. Not one of them can agree what the hell the Sharia is.
Let's not get into the Muslim situation.
Yeah, no. So I'm saying that I don't want the Sikhs to go down that road where we, end up like, as dysfunctional as this group. Or because the Christians, they learned it the hard way. The Christians, they learned this in the 15th, 16th century, that whenever you mix if you try scripturally legislating laws, you're going to end up into a very horrible situation. Because even though the religions are good,
yep. What Granth are you talking about there? Like, the thing is do you not trust in your Guru? Is not Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj your Guru?
Of course.
Do you not believe that the Guru has the ability, that the body of the Guru is there and is there to lead us? And you don't have to be a Sikh to even be blessed by Guruji. That really, like, what we're talking about here is Tan Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Waheguru.
Yeah, so what we're saying, what I agree with you, is that the principles of Sikhi, but it's not that we're making a legislative, rule that, Sadi Dariya has to be this length, we have to, the pug has to be this height, and what foot we have to put in the toilet, because these things, material things on there, like when we go into materialism, that's when things get, the Maya comes and traps us. So we have to, the spiritual philosophy of Sikhi is universal. Yeah, the spiritual.
Hold on. I need to just quickly do something here. I'm just going to play this video in the background, but I need someone to put a link in the chat of a good video, because I've been looking for videos of the attack on the Golden Temple, which I can play on YouTube without getting a strike, but shows the severity of the attack. Some of them look quite bloody, to be honest with you. But maybe I'll have to just show it, because there's no way around it, is there? Because it was a bloody situation. And let me just say something to blah blah. I'll put my olive branch out to you, Baji. I'm not going to apologize, because I don't think I need to apologize. But like I said, you got a valid point. But please, if you're going to make points, try and do it in a more kind of like, because if you start saying you can't do this or this, that, and I think you're preaching at me, you're just going to annoy me. There's ways to kind of like say, okay, Baji, what do you think about this? And I will put up the picture myself. I want to pick up. I don't actually have an issue with it. But like I said, got no issue with you. You've been a long time person that comes to the panel, so come back. You're not going to get blocked. I won't shout at you again. So yeah, see, I can be nice. Can you see that guy?
Hey, maybe one thing that we should all shoot. Yes,
can be nice. Everyone thinks
Dollar Dime.
Trying to be humble, man. Trying to be humble.
Hey, brother. One thing that maybe should be mentioned about is that after the assassination of Indira Gandhi, that the riots that kicked off, that were very strategic and state organized, and the amount of people that were killed throughout India after the attack.
But that
was almost like
yeah, but that needs to be a separate show, because that happened afterwards in October.
Yeah, that was a genocide.
So, this is more about the attack on the Golden Temple specifically, because this is what happened between the 1st and the 8th, and then after.
I believe they're fully related and was part of the same.
They are related, but unfortunately, because of the way how complicated this situation is, if we start talking about that situation in depth, we're gonna have problems. Yeah, we're just not about to do it. So we can do that as a separate show if we need to, but as of this particular show, I want to keep it very contained to the situation. What I do want to do is, towards the end, I do want to talk about that video that I played yesterday, if I can, for around 10 minutes. The one about the conversion thing in the hospital, but that'll be later, maybe in an hour or so, if you lot are still here for like 5-10 minutes. We'll lend it on that one. Maybe I can play this one. All right, I'm gonna try and play this one, but all right, so I think this might be a good one. Let me just try and play this one. Yeah. So. Alright, so I'm going to do it on. Right, so is this it? Oh my god! Alright, so I'm talking.
You know, one thing that I wanted to express, if I have a chance, is that just like I get the impression of our Muslim brothers that they're led to believe that the Sikhs are against you. I want to say to the Hindu brothers in the same respect, Sikhi is not here against anyone. Ik Onkar is the foundation of all of our Shabad. I mean, that the one is creation and creator is the foundation, and the Sikhi is here to serve humanity. And that I really feel that if somebody is feeling a little bit threatened about some of the things that they're hearing, it's possibly it's probably something that's maybe it's very difficult when it comes to like military matters, isn't it? But like say like the police brutality that you might see, that the Sikhs, if anything, throughout the history, as you can see, that the Sikhs did not attack until the last option. That the Sikhs have had the morality that like of avoiding conflict and resolving conflict, and that the reason that the Sikhs are armed is to bring justice. It's not about even defending ourselves. You can see from the history of the Gurus that the Gurus died defending the Hindu religion, died defending Muslims at times. That this is not even really about the protection of the Sikh. Rather, the mission of the Gurus is for all of humanity.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I would say the same. Like when it comes to when I'm saying I'm against India, some people equate that to me being against Hindus, and I have no problem with Hindus. I have a problem with the Indian government.
No, of course, that's it never meant that.
The Indian government, not Hindus.
Yeah, of course, the Indian government is a turd. I mean, Indira Gandhi. What can you say about the Congress who did this action? I mean,
it's the same with like I'm against same with against Pakistan. I'm not against Islam, but if you're a let's just say an Indian BJP member who's a Hindu fundamentalist, I'm sorry, I'm against you. Yeah, but same with like Muslims. If you're a Muslim fundamentalist, I'm against you. Both sides, kind of like I'm against, but I'm not against your average Muslim or your average Hindu. Yeah, if you're on the extreme fringes of it, yeah, then yeah, obviously I'm gonna be. Yeah, dude. Oh, God, man, what is wrong with you and Talochin? Do you want to jump on Talochin? I don't know what's going on. I'll give him the link if he wants to jump on, man. Dude, you two are always arguing about freaking.
No, I tell him to keep my name out of his filthy mouth. That's it. I don't want to talk to him.
Just don't
bring him on. I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah, I know. And Talochin, you've got to stop calling the man
Simran.
Yeah, that's how he's just fucking. He's don't
say. We're supposed to have a nice, peaceful chat today, but we've already fallen out with two Sikhs. Like I haven't fallen out with Blabber, but I had a bit of a annoyance with him, and you're now having annoyance with Talochin.
Talochin, he's the same guy who would have no. Listen. This asshole would have no problem in having a 105-year-old man.
1 minute.
He needs to be sniffed.
1 minute. As Sikhs,
Why?
As Sikhs, we can disagree on issues. Like, I don't like the fact that, Blabber told me about the Kunda thing, but he might have a good point. I just don't want to hear it. Yeah? Same with you. He might have a good point. You just don't want to hear it. The best thing is not to get into kind of like, especially in these shows when we're doing about Sikh issues, the worst thing is to start arguing among Sikhs. So, like I said to blah, I apologize if I said anything to disrespect you. Got no issue with you. Talochin, you need to stop saying stuff towards Raindrop, which is like calling him a Hindu this and that, and then he won't say something against you. So all of us have to kind of like be the better man. Look, I'm being the better man at the moment. I don't like apologizing and stuff. But if I in these kind of shows when we're talking about Sikhism and Sikh issues and stuff like that, we should try and be bigger men and not argue between ourselves, because that's just going to be unproductive. What I will do is just to play. See, look how much of a saint I am, guys. Look at me. Follow my thing. I'm gonna check. Yeah, I'm terrible. All right, Talochin. I said to you. All right. So this is the problem. I've said to you, Talochin. Any Sikh that likes Modi, I do think it's wrong. Yeah, in my opinion. That doesn't make them a Hindu, though, because I know lots of Sikhs that actually are in the support Modi or are actually in the BJP. They're still Sikhs. They're just a little bit misguided, in my opinion. That doesn't take them out of the fold of Sikhism. You can't do what's called like apostating people left, right, and center. Because this is the biggest problem I had with the Lochin when I went Speaker's Corner. It wasn't his views. You know, if someone says to me, Raj, this is wrong, or that is wrong, or that is wrong. What I had a problem with what's it called? The Lochin. He kept on calling me a Hindu, saying you're not a Sikh, you're not a Sikh, you're not a Sikh. And that kind of stuff is gonna get someone back up or like automatically.
You know, it pisses me off because he's trying to diss the Hindus without realizing that Guru Nanak Dev Ji's whole family was Hindu. I mean, are you mad? Are you just retarded? Like, does he even know anything about Sikhi? Does he know about Guru Gobind Singh Ji?
I'm just saying that we don't need to argue about stuff like that. We don't.
He's a little tit. He's a retard.
Because all right, so please come on. Look how much of a saint I've been today.
Yeah, bigger
like,
pride.
Try and take a leaf out of my book. Yeah, come on, everybody. Come on, look. If I can, like say sorry, blah blah, for being getting a bit agitated. Like everybody, put your egos aside and realize we're gonna all have different views on certain things. One man will say this is not permissible. Another man will say this is not permissible. I believe eating meat is one of the worst things you can do. But there are Sikhs that say you're allowed to eat meat. I don't say they're not Sikhs. I don't say they're not Sikhs. I'll say I don't agree with you on this particular matter, and I think maybe you're a little bit misguided on this. That doesn't mean it. You know, as soon as you disagree with someone, that takes you out of the fold of Sikhism. You've got to do a lot to take yourself out of the fold. If you're saying that you don't believe the Guru Granth Sahib is a living guru, you're out of the fold. It's as simple as that. Yeah, because you need to believe that.
Hanji,
if you don't believe the 10 gurus are sent by God and our messengers, are basically our teachers, then you're out of the fold of Sikhism. Let
100%.
Yeah, so let me just play.
And if you have another religion that you put before Sikhi, or accept more than one God, or like we don't have a set initiation into becoming like a non-Amradari Sikh. Basically, you just have to believe in those concepts. The 10 gurus, the writings of all the gurus, so including the Dasambani, the belief in one God and not having any other faith.
Oh, Raindrop, why are you now writing in the chat? And now he's going to have to write back, yeah? Look at me, how much of a saint I am today, yeah? I lost my temper before. I still think I'm in the right. But I still said, okay, Baji, I apologize if I lost my temper. Can everybody be more like me? Obviously, not all the time, just today. Yeah, like I'm trying to be a better person on these panels. Like I know people can say, well, you're fake, Raj, because as soon as you jump off these Sikh channels, Sikh panel, you're effing them, you're doing this and that. But at least I'm trying. At least I'm trying. And maybe if I do it during this particular panel, it might spread out into the rest of my life. You understand? So come on, man. Come on, guys.
Why?
Everyone needs to be yes, teasing. We're going back to the.
Hey, brother, man. What do you think about the amount? So, what do you think about the amount of the Singhs who have an issue with Dasambani? The amount of guys that I've had who want to question my Sikhi, and they always want to talk to me these same political topics, like, am I a supporter of Binjawali or Khalistan, or like, do I accept Dasambani? And I'm like, how can you not accept Dasambani if you accept?
No, I agree with you.
No, we can do that. We've got so many shows we can do in the future.
Okay.
I think on one offer, we're going to have hundreds of shows. So we need to keep it back to the topic, which is 1984. But it's going to get really muddied. Let me play this video. I'm willing to take the strike on this, just because I think this seems like a good video. Let me just see if I can play it and not. Hopefully, I don't get strike. I might even unmute it. Let's have a look. Sikh Foundation. So.
Is he leaving right now? All right, I just got to say goodbye. I'm filming the show.
Mute up, Flexi.
Rajdi, I'm sorry, I have to cut out. I've got several I've got to do, bruv.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. You gonna come back or you gone?
To be honest, I've just got to mow some lawns and whatnot. So it's going to take me about half an hour or whatnot. You're probably gone. But thank you for inviting me in this. And to everyone.
Yeah. So I might be on until around 9 though. So
I just want to say, can we take a moment to remember the people that were massacred?
Yeah.
And just if we can just take 1 second, everybody, and say wow to the remover of ignorance. Wow to the highest guru. Waheguru, 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 Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Anyway, big up to yourself, Flexi.
Thank you, guys.
Always good to talk to Flexi. Very controversial, good guest.
No, Flexi calms me down.
And I'm out.
Anyway, man.
1G.
Yeah, Flexi is very controversial. Like, I didn't realize how controversial Flexi is. Like, because I only met him a few times. It's good to have different views. So let me just play this video, and then how long you got? Because I need to go over the video of the conversion in a bit. How long have you got?
Yeah, I'll stay on. That shit pissed me off so much. But for some reason, the YouTube didn't notify me when you came out with the video. Like I couldn't even, and then it stopped working. Like I saw it till the 1 hour mark, and then it just stopped working. So I have to fix my shit up. But yeah, I'll mute myself.
Yeah, I do agree with this. All things must be a thorn in the side of Modi's establishment. Yeah, true. Not gonna lie. This is the thing about me and Talocha. We actually agree on more than we disagree. But I just don't like the way he does stuff, and he doesn't like the way I do stuff. So we're kind of like always at loggerheads about how our approach is, but we don't actually differ massively on theology, in my opinion, and even our political views are quite similar as well. We just argue because we're both strong-headed and want to be the top dog. Obviously, there's only one top dog. It can only be one. I'm only joking. There can be two, I suppose, but you know what us Sikhs are like, man. We're going to argue a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I got hot.
Let me just play the thingy. I don't want to go outside and then we've been talking silliness. So I'm just going to let this play for a minute. I just need to quickly just do something.
Years have passed since Indira Gandhi ordered the Indian Army to attack the Sikhs' holiest shrine, known around the world as the Golden Temple. Thousands of innocent Sikh pilgrims were massacred, priceless historical artifacts deliberately destroyed, and the Akal Takat, equivalent to the Vatican or Mecca, completely destroyed by tank and mortar fire. Sikhs in India and around the world were outraged. The invasion of the Golden Temple sent India into civil war in which over 150,000 Sikhs are said to have lost their lives. Sikhs make up less than 2% of the Indian population, but contributed more to the civil rights movement than any other community or religion. Out of 2,125 martyrs, 1,550 were Sikhs, 73%. Out of 2,646 exiled to the Andaman Islands, 2,147 were Sikhs, 81%. Out of 127 Indians sent to the gallows, 92 of them were Sikhs, 72%. This documentary will look at historical events and promises made to Sikhs to try to shed some light on why the Sikhs feel betrayed. The background. The roots of the present problem that Sikhs face predate the independence of India. The British had envisioned the formation of 3 separate countries, one dominated by Hindus, one by Muslims, and one by Sikhs. The Sikhs, on the basis of solemn assurances given to them by Mahatma Gandhi, Nehru, and other Congress leaders with regard to their constitutional and religious freedoms, put their trust in the Hindu majority and opted to remain as part of India. With the benefit of hindsight, it is clear that the trust was misplaced. Ever since independence, for them it has been a long, hard, and frustrating struggle to win those rights which had been assured to them as long ago as 1929. The brave Sikhs of Punjab are entitled to special consideration. I see nothing wrong in an area and a set-up in the north wherein the Sikhs can also experience the glow of freedom. So stated Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, 3 years prior to independence, in the flowery language for which he was renowned. More formal assurances were also given to the Sikhs regarding their future in India over the 30 years leading up to independence. One of the first assurances given to the Sikhs was in 1929, following a huge independence rally held by Sikhs in Lahore. In the words of the Times, the 500,000-strong procession led by the veteran Sikh leader Baba Karak Singh put the Congress show into shame and shadow. Mahatma Gandhi, Nehru, and other Congress leaders then met Baba Karak Singh and gave the Sikhs their solemn assurance that after India has achieved political freedom, no constitution will be framed by the majority unless it is freely acceptable to the Sikhs. 2 years later, in 1931, Mahatma Gandhi reiterated this assurance at Gurdwara Sisganj in Delhi, adding, "I ask you to accept my word and the resolution of the Congress that it will not betray a single individual, much less a community. If it ever thinks of doing so, it will not only hasten its own doom, but that of the country too." Congress also passed several resolutions concerning the political makeup of post-independence India. It committed itself to a union of states, to be based on linguistic and cultural boundaries, which were to be loosely governed by a federal government. Only months before independence, Nehru declared, "The various territories of the Union of India will be autonomous units with residuary powers." But, ultimately, it was the human value of trust rather than formal resolutions which persuaded the Sikhs to remain as part of India. After all, using Nehru's words, the commitment to uphold the rights of the minorities was a declaration, a pledge, and an undertaking before the world, a contract with millions of Indians, and therefore in the nature of an oath which must be kept. However, the goodwill and any affinity to an oath evaporated rapidly with the coming of independence. One of the most immediate and vivid examples was a secret circular sent out to all deputy commissioners in Punjab by the Home Minister V.B. Patel. In essence, they were instructions that Sikhs, particularly those migrating from Pakistan, should be treated like a criminal tribe. The government was urged to be severe, so that the Sikhs should wake up to the political realities and recognize who are the masters and who the slaves. In 1950, when the Indian Constitution was drafted, Sikhs, along with Buddhists and Jains, were categorized as Hindus. The Sikhs were deeply offended by this and saw it as a refusal by Congress to recognize the independence of their religion. Therefore, considering the Constitution unacceptable and having felt betrayed, the Sikh representatives walked out in protest and refused to ratify the Constitution. However, Sikh protests had virtually no effect, and gradually all the personal laws of the Sikhs were abolished and Hindu laws were enforced upon them. For example, the Anand Marriage Act was replaced with the Hindu Marriage Act of 1955. All this despite the solemn promise that no constitution would be imposed on them. After independence, Congress began to drag its feet on the reorganization of state.
Oh, this is part one, I think. All right, so I think that I should have already played that in the beginning, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but just one clarification, that video is outdated because we're not classified as Hindus in the Constitution. We're classified as Sikhs, as a separate religion. They changed that in like the early 2000s. And the marriage.
Sure, because I've looked into it.
Yeah, I double checked. I did this on Manny's show like last year. So if you look at the Sikh Marriage Act,
yeah,
I'll give you the link, and then you can look at it. And
I'll have to look at it properly later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we got to mention, like, you know, look, we're in the UK. Yeah, I live in the UK, you know, and I want the best for the UK. But it doesn't mean the UK, you know, gets off scot-free in the sense that the reason why there's so many issues in the Indian subcontinent with Kashmir and Punjab and all of that is because of the way the British carved up, you know, the lines between Pakistan and India, and that's caused so much problems for such a long, and it will for a long time cause issues. Yeah, and as you can see here, the map. If it was carved up properly, we wouldn't really be. I don't think we would have so many issues. So you can see here is Pakistan. Half of 65% is now in Pakistan. The rest of it's in India. And the reason I'm against the Indian government as a whole, and I want a separate state for the Punjab, is because I don't believe this country of India respects the Sikhs. Since the formation of India, all they've done is backstab, break promises, dismantle Punjab, and you know, people, the parties like the BJP and stuff. I'm sorry, they don't respect Sikhs. They see Sikhs as a glorified sect of Hinduism, like a military wing, and we're not. We're a separate religion. We're 30 million strong, and we are not part of the Hindu faith. We have no issue with Hindus. Myself personally, I don't know about other Sikhs. I have no issue with Hindus. I think most Sikhs would say they've got no issues, but we do have issues with any people, whether they're Hindus or whatever, that say that we are Hindus, because other people say we're Hindus, but we have an issue with you. So obviously you can see how many states there are in India. This was never really one country. All of these states were kind of princely states, and it's only after the British kind of invaded that they started to kind of unify as one big country. So the Punjab, I'm a Punjab separatist, and so yeah, and they also robbed our resources. Obviously, India. The problem I have, though, Raindrop, is like the amount that Punjab and the Sikhs in particular have given to India as a whole. Like we're only around 2%, but if you look at the two biggest freedom fighters of Indian independence, forget about Indira Gandhi. Who are the two other biggest freedom fighters of India?
Bhagat Singh,
Uttam Singh, both Sikhs. Yeah, but I mean, Bhagat Singh was an atheist, but he was born a Sikh. Yeah, when you're looking at the wars against Pakistan, yeah, what regiments were sent into Bangladesh? What regiments defeated the Pakistani army in the Battle of Longirwal? The Punjab regiments. When you're looking at just in generally the kind of how much water is taken out of Punjab as a state, you're looking around 85% of the water of the Punjab is recirculated around other areas of India. I know people say, well, that's what happens. You know, you got to share the water. You got the valley. You know, got the Indus Valley civilization was up there, so there's all these rivers. Obviously, Punjab is the 5 rivers, but when you get to a point where people are killing themselves in Punjab, like farmers, because of issues that they're facing, which are related to the water as well, because they've taken so much out of it. It gets to a point where you're disrespecting the Sikh people. Yeah, I'm not saying other states shouldn't have water from the Punjab, but 85%. And Indira Gandhi, she was building a canal to take out more water from Punjab. And that was one of the other issues. I think that canal is still up for contention even till today. So they wanted to take maybe 95% of the water out. Before I go on Super White, let me say something to Super White. You're unmodded. You're going to ask yourself, just 1 second, Ranger. You're unmodded. You're going to ask yourself, why are you unmodded? Firstly, I'm not even sure why you was modded in the first place. Secondly, you was abusing Sophia Lewis. That's a no-go. Soon as you start abusing Sophia Lewis and she tells me, I'll unmod you. Secondly, you're with skits. So I might even block you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give your thingy to Triple S. So Triple S, you're now moderated by Sikh Pra. You earned it. So the Super White, you're out of it. I might block you at some point because you're definitely an enemy within. I'm not even sure why I modded you up. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is we're going to wrap this up about Khalistan. Is there anything you want to kind of close on this in terms of?
About the whole, like, what I want most is justice for all the victims that died in 1984. That's my main concern. Khalistan, it's for Punjabis that live in India, for the Sikhs that live in India. The support is very low. And the reason being, and the proof that I have for that, is something called the NOTA. It's called the Nota Act, okay? If you vote in India today, they have observers from the United Nations, from Europe, America. The voting system in India is very legit. It's not, they don't have that many issues when it comes to voting. In the option, they have something called NOTA, none of the above. So if you are unhappy with the political parties or with whatever, you're unhappy with the state, to express your unhappiness, you just have to click that NOTA. The highest number of people who ever in Punjab voted for NOTA was like 100,000. So to think that there's like a massive desire in Punjab itself or amongst Sikhs that we want a separate country, it's next to nil, very, very low. This is mostly a thing that's in the NRI community in Canada and England and America. Well, not so much in America anymore. It is reduced a lot in the United States. The thing is that we have to look on the practical aspects of Khalistan and the Sikh country. The population of Punjab right now stands around 30 million. Of that, 57% are Sikhs. The rest are Hindus and Muslims and Christians, whatever. So we're dealing with the 15 million people that you would be talking about in a Khalistan or a Sikh state. Now, amongst the Sikhs, 50% are the Jats. The biggest other majority are the Mazhabi Sikhs. Then we have the Ramdasya, the Labana, the Tarkhans. You have different Aroras. Out of that is only the Jats who are really pro-Khalistan. The rest, the Mazhabi Sikhs, the Ramdasya, the Tarkhan, they're not for Khalistan at all. They're vehemently against it. The reason being is that the Akal Takht and the Sikh religious places are dominated by the Singh Sabha Jats. So this creates a massive friction where even in the whole 1984, do you have any Chamars? So the Chamar community is massive in India, in Punjab. You have the Chamars. They're not represented in any of these things where they want a separate homeland because they have been discriminated against. Even if you go to our local Gurdwara, some Gurdwara we have is a Singh Sabha, the other one is Labana, the other one is Ramdasya, the other one is, frigging Chamar Gurdwara. And then one will not go into the other Gurdwara because, I don't want to eat with the Chamar. Chudiya da nahi khana.
Yeah, but that were so the thing is, look, that's a different topic that we can go through. But
yeah, so what I'm saying is that we talk about Khalistan, or we talking about a Jatistan. So I'm a Jat, and I'll tell you honestly that my people, we are a proud, thick-headed, stupid people. We are adamant, and we think we are the best, or we are the most superior. We don't have the humbleness to think, that we have our own little, rinky-dink Jatistan. are other Sikhs going to be happy with it? Let's ask the Mazhabi Sikhs. Let's ask the Chamar Sikhs. Let's ask the Aroras, the Tarkhans, the Ramdasias. Because if we don't include them, then all you're talking about is a little rinky-dink. You're talking about imagination. You're not talking about something practical.
Yeah, all right. So this
Yeah,
is why I've got to the point of being a Punjab separatist rather than being a Khalistani, because I don't think Khalistan as of today is going to be something that's it's basically a pipe dream as of today. I'm not saying it can never happen. It might. I mean, I don't know. But I'm saying it's more of a pipe dream, a Punjab separatist movement based on the Punjabi people of India, whether they're Sikh, Muslim, Christian, or Hindu. On top of that, have it based on secularism and democratic. And obviously, the biggest group is going to be Sikh. There's no doubt about it. And I don't think, that's going to be a big problem per se. So my kind of move is towards that way. I don't think that's impossible, though, Raindrop. I don't think that's impossible.
So the thing is that
remember, take Khalistan out of it. I'm talking about just a separate homeland for the Punjab in India. Forget about.
So there's something called the Singh Suba movement, or the Punjab Suba movement. So actually, if you look in history, in 1945, around the 1940s, the Pakistani Punjabis that we call Pakistan Punjab, a lot of them didn't want separation. They didn't want to have like a country called Pakistan. So if you look at in history, the Punjabis in Pakistan and the Sikhs and the Hindus, Punjabis, they all wanted to make their separate homeland called the Punjab Suba. Mm-hmm. And I think the prime minister was some Ali Khan, some guy. He was a Muslim guy. Okay, and this movement kind of got broken up by the Muslim League and the Congress Party. So the Muslim League by Jinnah, he said, no, we're going to make a whole country only for the Muslims. And then the Congress said, don't worry, we're just going to give you a little Sikh state. How can you live? So the original goal was to originally India was supposed to be a confederation. Okay, a confederation. So it's like the European Union. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that I would still agree with. Like, let me say something. If the Indian government was to agree to like a confederation, like the Americans kind of like a confederate, not a confederate, but their states are autonomous in terms of they can regulate themselves up to a certain degree, then I wouldn't. Even with the UK, Scotland can make its own rules, and Scotland can it's kind of like an autonomous country but within a United Kingdom, and I would accept that as well if I'm being a United States of India, with the Punjab and the different states having complete autonomy. Yeah, I don't think that was
the original plan. That was the original plan. So they would have like a union in India that would include Burma, so Pakistan, and actually Jinnah was kind of for that. He actually wanted that. He didn't really strictly want a whole separate country either. What happened was that the Nehru, I don't like Nehru. Nehru wanted power for himself. He didn't want to share. So that's why then Jinnah was kind of forced into saying fuck it, we're just going to make our own separate country. But the point that I'm saying is that having Punjab separate now, it makes no sense, because the only real group, within the Sikhs are the Jats who would be pro Khalistan. There are no Chamars, Chudas, Ramdasias, Mazhabis. None of them support a separate Khalistan.
Are you sure?
The ones that I've met,
let me say something.
In India, at least in Punjab.
Maybe in India, but outside of India, that's not the case. That is not the case. And then we're going to move on in a second, all right, so to blah blah, come here. Let's make up now. Let's make up. I was just a little bit annoyed before. I was a bit fiery, so big up to blah blah. He's one of my long time kind of like people on the panel. I won't say supporter, but I want to lose my temper sometimes. What can I say? But I'm being good today. How many times do you hear me going, come on, I apologize, blah blah blah. Yeah, I kind of like lost my temper. But obviously, I got a hot head. But big up to blah blah. I got no issue with the guy, man. He had a valid point. And that's something I actually might do a show on tattoos and Sikhi, because I actually don't know what the ruling is on tattoos, to be honest with you. So I will need to figure out. Like, I don't know whether it's against or for, whether there's a particular thing on it. So what I'm going to do here is let's move on to.
So just to conclude, like my vision for Punjab is I want Punjab to be a rich state. I want it to be rich. The main problems in our community, what happens is that when people go on this whole thing, and I've seen it in America, I've seen it growing up. I used to go to Khalsa camps, okay? We used to sing, Desh Babar Mohe Hai. We used to sing the whole thing. That was like the national anthem for the Khalistan, okay? And Babbar Khalsa was very active in America, okay? They had huge branches all over the place. I mean, it was a big thing when I was younger. But when I got older and I started realizing, I'm like, bro, how are you practically going to do this? I mean, you're going to make people are going to make Punjab into fucking Somalia, into a dysfunctional hellhole. There'll be killings every single day. I mean, we can't even manage our own Gurdwara property. We fight kutte biya aur ladai kar le again. I mean, let me tell you something. When I was growing up, right, you can go to a Gurdwara. Okay, I'll tell you, in New Jersey. All right, there was this Sikh temple there, and they used to have a fight between the Jats and the Labanas. And this was so embarrassing, bro. This is the 90s. They used to have police vans, like 10 of them, lined outside the Gurdwara, and all the Sikhs would have their swords out fighting each other in a white man's land. It's like, this was disgusting to me. I was like, what the fuck?
Okay. So the thing is, look, even in my local Gurdwara, I'm talking about tiny little Gurdwara.
No, but did they take the talwara out? Like in New Jersey, they took the talwara out, bro. They took the swords out.
People were fighting, like proper fighting. I'm not talking about with swords, but they were fighting.
No, we have real swords out.
But the thing is, like, all right, I agree with you. There's a lot of there'll be probably kind of arguments and probably, but I'm not going to say it's impossible. Yeah, I think.
Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. Yeah. But this is why I'm very pro India. When people see that with India, the way I see India is that I see India like Star Trek. Okay. Yeah. I was a big Star Trek fan. And the reason I see India like Star Trek is because it's a nation, it's an idea that has, you have like 30 states. Each state has the whole different language, a different culture, whatever. If you open up this rupee bill, you have 23 languages written on it. You have all 5 major religions. There's more people in India than Africa and Europe combined. Throw in 200 million Muslims. Now people say, oh, India is bad for the Muslims or Muslims being persecuted. Bullshit. There are more Muslims in India than Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan combined. Tell me how many Muslims are being killed in those countries combined and how many Muslims are being killed in India. Then we can have a good comparison. But you can't just take isolated cases and say, oh, 200 Muslims were killed over 20 years, that there's some massive genocide going on. There's none. It's bullshit. If there was a massive genocide, we wouldn't have 200 million Muslims existing there in the first place.
Let's get off the point of that.
Yeah, the space program. They have Muslims all over in the industry.
Yeah, I know, but let me say so. All right, so let me say something. Yeah, look, when it comes to the space program, I'm in 2 minds about India's space program. We can have a discussion about this because on the one hand, I'm like, well done. You basically undercut the Americans. And every
there's going to be a Sikh astronaut, Raj.
Yeah. So, all right, so let me finish. So, in terms of that, I'm kind of proud in the sense that, okay, although I don't support India, I am proud that they've managed to kind of like, create this space program and actually do it at a much lower cost and much more, let's just say, much more kind of an affordable way to do space travel. And if the Sikh goes into space, big up to him, man. And that's going to be because of India's kind of space program. But at the end of the day, there are people dying on the streets. There's people still shitting on the street. There's people dying of particular kind of diseases and poverty.
It has the highest poverty rate in the world. There's more poverty in India than in Africa.
Yeah. So on the one hand, great having a space program. Great.
No, the reason the space program. Let
me just finish. Okay, so great having a space program, great. But if you got a space rocket going up into space, but right on the doorstep, you have people dying of starvation, people in poverty, people shitting in the street, then that's going to kind of like, it's going to kind of what I call kind of muddy the accomplishment. Because when I look at that, I'm like, dude, like the millions you spent on that, you could have actually inputted it into something to help the people. But I love space. Yeah,
I love space. No, so I'll defend the space program, and I'll tell you why. See, the space program that the India uses, right? It works on 1/10 of the budget that any other space agency has. So what they're doing is, so they sent a satellite to Mars for $75 million on the first try. Like if you look in history, America had to do it 6 times, they failed. But India, they got it on the first try. They sent a satellite to Mars, and that was for $75 million, less than the movie Gravity. So the movie Gravity costed more than the actual satellite that's sent there. The reason the space program is good is that when you send things out in space, you can now capture the market for the satellite industry. So instead of depending on SpaceX, on NASA, or on the Russians, who would charge many, many millions more, you can get it for cheap prices in India. So I do support science and technology. Like, any expense should not be spared, because these two things, poverty alleviation and space and technology development, go hand in hand. It should not be that one is at the expense of the other. Because guess what? There's more poor people in India than in Africa. But there's no way you can take out everyone in poverty if you ignore technology and science and medicine, because those things will go hand in hand. If you improve the space program, if you improve technology, then you're going to move people out of poverty as well. You know, so both things, they go hand in hand. I wouldn't say that the space program.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, like, I even watched the SpaceX launch of Elon Musk's, and I think that's a massive breakthrough. As you can see from this story, we're going to move on now.
But there's going to be a Sikh astronaut at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I mean,
design the helmet and everything. You know, for our pug, they have a helmet that's designed that we can hold our cation.
If I have a look at this, like this spaceship here, this is my drawing. Dreams do come true. This is my idea of heaven. Going to Mars, chilling out with a buggy, having my spaceship. It's called Sheda Punjab. It's got a little khanda on there as well. Baked beans tin, just kind of like feeding me through the tubes, and me just drawing and chilling out, man, all by myself. So yeah, I love space. I think you know, space travel and any of the space programs is money. You know, it's a great thing, but when it comes at the expense of, let's just say, you know, if there's people on your doorstep, you're sending up a rocket, but right outside you have people dying of starvation or people dying of poverty, then it kind of like I don't know, it just seems a bit strange to me. So let's move on to the next bit, a bit more controversial, obviously. Yesterday, we can talk about the Khalistan. What I want to do with you on the next program, because obviously it's actually quite a good thing that was brought up today, because I don't know what the ruling is on tattoos. Yeah, what is the ruling on? Because I had a bit of a disagreement with what's it called, blah blah, and he was saying that promoting this is anti-Sikhi. Yeah, and I'm like, is it really? Like, I wasn't really even thinking about it. Now, what I want to do in this show in the future is to find out, because I know a lot of Sikhs that have tattoos, even Amritdhari Sikhs. I can't remember whether they got them before, but is this wrong to do this, do you think? I do think it's wrong in the sense that, let me tell you one of the reasons I would not get a tattoo here, because I was thinking about getting a khanda tattoo. The problem I do have with tattoos is that you're gonna go into places, and you're gonna go places where, you know, the seat kind of like, especially with Gurbani and stuff on there, probably isn't the best place to go. Like, place where people drink, where people thingy, where, I mean, we don't know what this guy's doing, where he's going. But I mean, what's your kind of take on tattoos then? Is it against Sikhi, or isn't it? I don't know.
I don't know, honestly. I don't see an issue with it, unless it's like, I mean, like picture of the Golden Temple or something. I think it's the intention, right? Like, I don't want someone who's in a gang wearing a, you know, khanda tattoo, you know, like, it's gonna mess things up. Like, you don't want to give. I think in this scripturally, I don't think we're supposed to do any body modifications, like, you know, where like, I'm talking about like strict, like if you're a strict Amritdhari, then you're not supposed to like wear makeup either. Like, you're not supposed to. Yeah, like shave, or like, not only shave, but even makeup is not allowed.
What about this though? It looks like, I need to figure out what exactly he said here. Now, this guy could be an Amritdhari. I can't see.
I don't. I think this is just a white person with a tattoo. Because if you look on the bottom, that's Tibetan. The language that's written underneath the khanda. That's Tibetan. I was told this was No, that's Punjab. That's Gurmukhi. In the bottom, it looks Tibetan on the bottom.
No, I was sent this by somebody that said that this guy was a Sikh guy. So I'm assuming.
Oh, okay, maybe, yeah.
No, yeah, because I think that maybe he just put that at the bottom. I don't know, but yeah, tattoos and stuff. It's a good conversation to have. I don't really know. I don't really have a problem with tattoos per se. But if you had a picture of, say, Guru Gobind Singh Ji or any of the gurus, like, tattooed on your arm, I'd be like, dude, like, what are you doing? Because you don't know, you're going to go place and do things that are going to be obviously not the best places to go. So let's go to that video now. You know what video I'm talking about. You know what video. Yeah. Did you see my did you see the bit when I was taking a piss out of because you know, Grey Dunya Sheikh One, they think it's the most amazing thing that ever happened. Did you see my piss take of them?
Yeah, no, I did. I couldn't watch the whole thing. It stopped at 59 minutes, so I couldn't.
Right,
For
so-
some reason, the video would not play further after 59. So I got
So
stuck
let
at
me
59.
let me play, because what it is here, they're the ones that put that. Sheikh one was the one that originally put the video up, and I was just watching it. I was like, okay, look, let me get it straight. So basically, it's a video of an old Sikh man who is 105 years old, allegedly, in a what's it called? In a hospital, it looks like, and he can barely talk or move, and an individual claiming to be his grandson is making him do the shahada just before he's about to pass away, or he's on his deathbed or whatever. And the guy can barely speak, is obviously not, it doesn't look like even know what he's saying. And in my opinion, that makes his shahada null and void. Like, from my understanding, you've got to understand what you're saying. And so when I saw this, what annoyed me more was people celebrating this as some kind of amazing thing. Oh, big up, big up. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, this guy converted. And I'm like, why would you even celebrate something like this? This is a disgraceful act where an old man is being manipulated into saying something that he doesn't even know what he's saying. Yeah. And so yesterday I did my little kind of like little thing, which lasted 2.5 hours. I have to admit, I was really pissed when I saw it. I'm not gonna lie, really pissed when I saw it. I was like furious.
It's sad, really. It's really sad. It's pathetic.
And,
and sad.
let me say, it's not because he he allegedly become Muslim. That's not my issue with it. My issue with it is you have an old man who he looks so much like my father as well. This is the problem. Like, he looks a lot like my dad. And so for me, when I watched it, and I was like, my dad was in the hospital last year, and like, someone just coming up to my father and then going, oh, repeat this, when my dad, even at that time, he was on medication. He was that sort of thing. He wasn't even 100% there. So when you're in hospital and you're an old person, somebody manipulating you like that is really, really nasty.
Yeah, no, imagine if DCCI did that. I mean, there's plenty of Muslims in old people homes. I wonder if, Hatun or someone went to a Muslim elderly gentleman and said, hello, get your baptism, or, renounce Muhammad. Let's see how, what would the Muslim community, they'd be, bitching and crying, slapping their chests on the streets. They'd be.
Let me just play the video though, so people can see what we're talking about. Because this is not, even if, let me tell you something. If a Sikh guy, if I saw a video of a Sikh man going into a hospital and then converting an old 105-year-old Muslim man to Sikhism, when the old Muslim man is just on a bed and he can barely talk, can barely move, and the guy converted him, I'd freaking like rinse that Sikh out. I say that Sikh is a disgrace. He should be freaking well ostracized. He's manipulating an old man, and it's disgusting. There's another video someone sent me here, which is even worse. It's even worse, Raindrop. Do you want to see it? I can't remember whether you sent it to me. It was an old woman. Have you seen the old woman one?
No, I didn't send it.
Oh my God, that one's even worse. I don't know who put that up, why they put that up, why anyone's celebrating this. So let me just play the video again so people can understand and why people are really pissed off about this video.
My grandfather is 105 years old, and we come from Sikh background. I took my Shahada when I was 21, and today my grandfather here is going to take his Shahada because now he's weak, he can barely talk, and the angel's probably gonna come for his ruh soon. So here we go, guys. I want you guys to be a part of this miraculous moment 2020. Bapu chal bolni me pichon. Ashhadu an la ilaha il Allah wa ashhadu Anna Muhammad the Rasul. Rasul Allah. As you can see, he's using his left hand to make the finger because his right hand has completely stopped working. So there it is, guys. He took his shahada. You guys are witness.
Is this something to be proud of?
He goes.
It's disgusting. It's
Is that something to be
evil.
proud of?
It's evil. It's disgusting. It's pathetic. I mean, so this is the thing that really pisses me off at some Sikhs. I'm like, dude, nothing in India. There's no in Hinduism and Buddhism. They're not seeking to exterminate the Sikh religion. The Abrahamics are not that way. For Abrahamics, they want their whole world to become theirs. They want everyone to be like a fucking robot. Okay, everyone has to be the same belief. That's not our goal as Sikhs or Buddhists or Hindus. That's why ultimately I always support India because of this. Because I know at the end of the day, I'd rather be with a people that don't seek to exterminate my religion and my people. I can separate the culture and the politics and the religion. To me, the Sikh religion is the most important. I can care less about politics. I can give two shits about who is the leader or whatever. Ultimately, I have to look out at who's going to protect and defend the religion of Sikhism. And to me, this is just pathetic. This is evil.
Right, so I need to move because I need to leave at 9 o'clock. But some people started sending me other videos similar to this, and this is worse in my opinion. This one here, I'm not gonna lie. This one, look, I don't know who this lady is. She's from an English. So basically, this was uploaded March 13, and it says, "Old British woman declared shahada just before her death." An old British woman declared shahada just before her death. Allahu Akbar. An old yet profound video. A Muslim man was visiting a London hospital, when he heard an English lady shouting for help from a high care unit next to the Muslim patient he was visiting. So he was in the hospital visiting someone else. He rushed to her. She said, "I've wanted to convert to Islam. Can you help me?" She took a shahada and passed away peacefully. When Almighty Allah, when Allah Almighty has written guidance, none can misguide. My issue is this: this is filmed, and then when it's uploaded, I would have thought that people would be like, "Dude, like this woman's clearly not competent. She's in stress. Did she really say that?" Everything is like, "Oh, this is amazing," and this happened with the Sikh one as well, and that's why I went so ham the other day. Now, this is not against Muslims, If Muslims find this abhorrent, then you're not my issue. I'm against the ones that think this is a normal thing to do. So let me play it to you because this one was actually even worse.
Ashhadu Allah ilaha illa Allah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad.
Can you hear?
Rasul.
Yeah, bro. This is.
Hold on 1 minute. 1
I
minute.
testify that there is no God but Allah, and I testify that Muhammad is his messenger, and I testify that Jesus is Allah's messenger.
So this guy's just going into a hospital, and he hears an old woman in distress. She's about to die. He goes over to her, and he then alleges that she is asking to take the shahada. Why would an old woman just be shouting to some random man to take the shahada? If this is happening on more of a regular basis, because these are the ones that are recorded now. I'm pretty sure if I keep searching the net, I can find more. My issue is that the comments are 99% about supporting what these guys are doing. Big up to them, amazing, this woman's blessed. This is literally violating a woman before she is dying. Instead of going for help for her, the man's recording it, telling her to repeat something that she doesn't even know what she's saying. So it's invalid anyway. So anything he's doing is not going to work. If you truly believe in your religion, you would know that this, if you truly believe that, saying the Shahada and you really mean it, takes you to heaven, you should know this is not valid then. This is not valid because it's obvious this woman is not in the right frame of mind to even know what she's saying, let alone consent to converting to Islam, So I know.
Like, look, this is the reason. See, people, they want to, they talk about Modi. Oh, Modi's a murderer. Modi's doing crazy things. I'm like, dude, when you look at the Hindus, I feel sorry for them. Actually, I see them like the African spiritualists. The African spiritualists. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. Right? Let me finish. Let me finish.
No, I have to stop you. Please, bro. Just respect my panel, man. I'm against Modi. Yeah, and I'm being straight with you on this particular show. I don't want none of this. Well, this is why Modi does this and that because I'm against him. He's a fascist.
I'm not pro Modi. I'm just thinking
I know
you're going to radicalize any group. Like,
I know you're not
forget about Modi. Forget about Modi. But I'm talking about.
Raindrop, please, Badi. Yeah, just no moment. I'm asking you just for this particular show. If we're on a different show, okay. I want to keep it contained.
Okay. Let's just continue to this. Look,
I don't want this to be kind of like this is why Modi, because then when people are watching this, it's going to be like I support Modi because it's your.
No, you don't, right? I don't support. Look, I don't support.
If you want to do this on another show, and then when we're talking about broad assent, we can do that. But I'm against.
Modi. No, I get it. But what I'm saying is that with this lady, you could see how she's an elderly woman, and any belief system that can convince a human being that this is okay. It's a mental illness. It's a psychological illness. They're mentally ill. So the reaction that happens to them is justified. The reaction that people come out, that the stuff in India, whatever, this is the reason. Because the Muslims would lose their shit if this would happen to an elderly Muslim lady and some guy would, tell her to, accept Jesus.
All right, so I said that yesterday, and the thing is, I tried to take a comical stance on this year, and I don't know how well it went, but I was trying to do look, for me, it seems to be that when I'm not saying everyone, a large chunk of the people in the comment sections was in support of this. Mad Dunya thought it was the biggest shahada since the first Muslim converted. Sheikh One was loving it, uploaded it. Black Dunya, who's one of the main channels at Speaker's Corner, supporting it. But there were also a lot of Muslims that condemned it. So big up to you guys that were condemning it. If you restore my faith, because I'm telling you, if I don't hear your voices, guys, let me say something to the Muslim community. If I don't hear Muslims condemning this, and all I'm reading is support, I'm gonna start thinking there's something wrong with your community. So to everybody that condemned it, like Shahid, Juck with a big part, and a couple of other people, big up to yourself. Even Reaction, he was trolling first, but when I explained to him, he had to agree that it was wrong. Now, let me explain something. I did a skit here because I believe it. People like Sheikh One, Mad Dunya, and Dick Pic Taweed are type of people that would rummage through, old people's homes and wait for people to die just before they're dying and make them take the Shahada. I think they're that type of guys here that would dig up a corpse, if they believe there's any life in it and move the jawline and take the Shahada. They're crazy. So I did this little skit here, and I actually think it's not that bad actually. So let me just play it. It's only for 2 minutes from yesterday. Obviously, it's a bit full on, but what can I say? So this is them not going to an old person's home. Sheikh One, what's it called? Dick Pic Taweed and Mad Dunya. Over there, great Dunya. And uploaded it on YouTube, which I think is disrespectful again. Let the man put his turban on, cover his head at least, So you can see here, this is an elderly man who obviously it doesn't seem like he's in his right frame of mind to make such a decision. You need to understand that you cannot, let me explain something. You can't go to, it's like going to an old person's home and going, okay, guys, my name's Dick Pic Taweed. I have my 2 boyfriends with me, Mad Dunya and Sheikh One. Sheikh One will give you a blowy in the toilet if you're over 90 and yeah, you're a man. Yeah, go into the toilet. We'll be there waiting for you. Let's go around and see who we can convert today. Oh, look over there, Grey Dunya. There's a 95-year-old man. He can't talk. He's salivating. He can't, think. He looks like he's about to die. Grey Dunya, run over there. Run. Grey Dunya is running. Oh, my name's Grey Dunya, you know. My name's Grey Dunya. What are you saying, dude? Yeah. I'll tell you something now. You're going hellfire, man. You're going hellfire if you don't convert today. The guy's on the singer. Yeah, you're going hellfire. You're going hellfire. 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 God doesn't know what's going on here. And he goes, yes, repeat after me. And he opens his mouth, like starts going, repeat after me. And so the old man's there, Grey Dunya's going, and he repeats after him, yeah. Then you got Sheikh Kwan going, oh, look at this one over there. There's an old woman. She's 97. She's in the toilet. She's in the toilet. Old woman's in the toilet, yeah. And then she's just sitting there going for a pee. Oh, what's going on? And Sheikh Kwan kicks the door in. Hey, lady, you're going to hell, bitch. You're going to hell. If you don't convert now, bitch, you're going to hell. My name's Sheikh Kwan. The old woman's going, oh, I just want to go to the toilet. Can I just go pee first? No way. You might die in the middle of your shit. And if you die while going for a poo, I cannot live with myself. I am Sheikh Kwan. So he starts going, oh, all right, then what do you want me to do? Can I use a toilet paper first? No, bitch. You can't use toilet paper under my watch. I have 30 seconds to convert you. Otherwise, you're going to hell. They can't even let the woman go to the toilet, yeah? This is how... I actually believe, yeah, this is the type of guys they are, yeah? Like, they would... Like, I could imagine, yeah, them lot kind of like walking around, looking through old people's homes and waiting for people to go into their deathbed in order to convert them, yeah? Like, that's what they think is normal. Because we've now played 2 videos, and I'm pretty sure... I think there's one of a Chinese...
do the same to them, man. Then that's the only language they learn. When people do the same to them, then they learn. Then they figure out that, oh, this is not right. Like, they're very entitled. You know, the Ummah is very entitled. They believe that they're the only ones who are right, and everyone else is destined to the hellfire. So the problem with this is why DCCI goes so aggro on them. This is why DCCI is going all crazy and doing some crazy shit. Because to get it through their thick skulls, you sometimes have to act like them. And this is sad. It's a sad truth, but the DCCI methods are effective.
Now, I'm going to ask, because a lot of people suddenly come into the chat going, Raj, this is no more. The woman, we saved her from hellfire. We saved the Sikh man from hellfire. I'm going to ask you, is this normal in this video? Do you think this is normal?
There is.
Forget about the Sikh one. This is another one uploaded of an old woman, and this is what is Muslim Council of Hong Kong. Everybody in the chat is going, oh, this is amazing. Yeah, now I can say that I've seen the best thing ever happened to this lovely young lady, newborn. What such a beautiful end. This is very disturbing to read comments like this from people that
it's evil. It's evil.
I just don't understand what they're thinking. This is an old woman. You can read what they put. Now, this is what they've written on the description. This is what they've written. An old British woman declared Shahada just before her death. Allahu Akbar. An old yet profound video. A Muslim man was visiting a London hospital. This is just in London where I am. When he heard an old English lady shouting for help from a high care unit. Remember, high care means that she was seriously ill. Next to the Muslim patient he was visiting. It was just randomly visiting some guy. A woman in a high care unit, so she was seriously ill, she was about to die, was screaming for help, yeah? He rushed to see her. She said, I've wanted to convert to Islam. Can you help me? Why would this old woman say this? What a lie. You know that didn't happen. She took her shahada and passed away peacefully. Yeah. Now, just for argument's sake, that was true, yeah? Just for argument's sake, I know it wasn't. Why would you film this, yeah? It's a despicable thing, yeah, for this person to do this and manipulate this old woman. Now, listen, look how old she is, yeah? Look how old she is. Look, imagine that being your grandmother. She's in a hospital. She's asking for help. Some tit, yeah, some little prick here goes over and starts making her say the Shahada. This is, let me explain something to you guys, yeah. Anybody supporting this, yeah. So let me read something from Somali Flame. Taking advantage of an old woman, that's not part of Islam. See, you're lucky you have Muslims like this, yeah, that are speaking out. Because if I don't read this stuff, yeah, I'm going to get really, really in a narrow mind that all Muslims are crazy. But because people are saying this is wrong, like Somali Flame, like Jack with a big part, like Shahid, like certain other people, I can start saying, okay, there are Muslims that disagree with this. The guys that are doing this here are doing anti-Dawa. This is disgusting. Really disgusting. Yeah, really disgusting, this one. Is that you, Flexi?
Why, Guruji?
So yeah, so this particular video I think is even worse than the other video, just because you can see the
This
old
is another
woman.
one?
Yeah, this is an old woman. So let me explain what happened. Is this is another one? Yeah, it's got 7,000 views. It was basically in a London hospital. An old British woman declared Shahada just before her death. So an old British woman declared Shahada just before her death. An old yet profound video. A Muslim man was visiting a London hospital. This is what they say. When he heard an old English lady shouting for help from a high care unit. So meaning she was seriously ill. Next to the Muslim patient he was visiting. So he doesn't even know her. Yeah, he rushed to see her. She said, I've wanted to convert to Islam. Can you help me? Obviously, that's a complete lie. Why would this old woman, you can see she looks like she barely even knows what's going on, yeah? Yeah? Barely even knows what's going on. She's on her deathbed. And this guy's made up this lie about her, uploaded it, and now it's got 7,000 views. I hope someone can find out whether this woman has family or something. Because the guy that put this up here needs to be found and needs to be ostracized by his community, because this is totally wrong. Now let me play it for you, yeah, and tell me the people in there that are, let me give you the people's names. So there's people in there like the people like this guy, let the truth prevail, yeah, disgusting to save a human being from hell. So he thinks, yeah, what this has happened here is acceptable, yeah. So let's play it and tell me whether you think this is
disgusting. Is hell. This is what you call hell.
Is it disgusting to try and save someone from hell, even though the person, let me explain something too. I'm teaching Muslims their own religion. If somebody is as old as this, is in a hospital in an intensive, like a high care unit, has no understanding about her surroundings, is totally incapacitated, is on death's door, can she, yeah, when she's taken the Shahada, is that Shahada legitimate because she doesn't know what's going on? So in my opinion, if you're a true Muslim, you would say this Shahada is invalid. But because you're a salesman Shahada and you don't give a shit about the human being, all you want is another tick here on a Shahada, you're doing your own religion a disservice. In fact, what I'm going to do to you, let the truth prevail, yeah, I'm going to apostate you. Takbir, what is it? What's it? I'm going to apostate with you, apostate someone. What's that word? What's the word when you apostate someone?
Takfir.
Oh, takfir you. Because
we don't guys, we don't have apostates like the Charlie Mukti who left the battle. We're forgiven. And
yeah, I don't know, Flexi, but
I'm playing, man. I know what you're saying, but I'm saying that just so everyone knows that within Sikhi, apostates are forgiven. That this just shows the morality of the ethics that will take advantage of these disabled people and will do it simply for their own brownie points. I mean, that's one thing that was really interesting to me when I was a young man at Speaker's Corner. The amount of guys who were trying to convert me, and when I got down to the nitty-gritty of their questioning, is that it wasn't for me, it's for them. It's for their own little point system that they believe that they get with the man upstairs. And it's just another example to me of how Sikhi is the utmost of morality. I've said too much. Of course, man. It is not. Like, I love you, my good brothers.
You're right.
Let me play it so people can see this, because I want to see whether these guys saying this is a great thing to happen to this woman and filming it, uploading it to YouTube, disrespecting her in her last hours when she was asking for help. Instead of getting help, he starts making her say the Shahada. Now listen to this.
And it's not for her. Let's remember this, guys, that this is not for her. This is not for her soul. This is for you, little.
It's for their good deeds.
Okay,
No,
well,
you know how
let me
retarded their system is.
Let me play it.
Ashhadu Allah ilaha illa Allah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasul Allah. I testify that there is no God but Allah, and I testify that Muhammad is his messenger, and I testify that Jesus is Allah's messenger.
Now, before I go on, let me just rant a bit for a minute because I need to rant a bit. Yeah. First of all, thanks to people like Jack with the big pot, yeah, real Muslims, Somali Flame, Shahid, other people, because I know you get stick for saying stuff like this because people say you're selling out. Let me tell you, when you speak up and you say stuff like this, it makes me understand that my views here sometimes can get skewered because I'm only hearing one point of view. I need to hear all points of view. Otherwise, I'll start becoming like I was when I first went Speaker's Corner. And I was real kind of dogged in my mindset. And I don't want to try and go back to there. But the people, yeah, like this guy, let me just read it, yeah. Raw Speaker's Corner, if that was my grandmother, I would be ecstatic. Thankfully, all my family Muslims. So let me ask you this question then, and answer honestly. If this was your grandmother, she was a Muslim, she's in hospital, she's on a deathbed, she starts crying out for help. You're not there, none of your family's there. Your grandmother is going, please help me, please help me. She's on her deathbed. Some random Christian guy who's going to see somebody else in the hospital goes over to her, and instead of helping her and calling for help, puts a camera out, puts it in her face, and then starts saying, can you say Jesus Christ is the Son of God and there's no other messengers like that, and all this kind of stuff. Says that Jesus is God and all this kind of stuff. She believes in the Trinity, converts her to Christianity. Would you say this is acceptable for a Christian to do to your Muslim grandmother? Answer me now, let the truth prevail. Would you accept it, or would you be like, this is disgusting?
You wouldn't, guys. None of you would, because you know that this is taking advantage, and this is not actually what they're asking for. Now, as a Sikh, what would I do in this same situation with a Muslim? I would say, would you like to jump the nam? Would you like to pray the name of Allah with me? Let's sit down and let's just say Allah. We just pray to God. Okay. You want to sit down and pray with me by any other faith? I'm happy to sit down and call the name of Jesus if need be.
Yeah. So if you look at let the truth prevail, he said the difference is Islam is the only true religion. I would not accept that. Okay, so to this woman, yeah, and to Sikhs and to Christians, they believe their religion is their only way forwards. We believe our religion is the truth. So when you're violating our old people, going into hospitals, randomly just filming them, and then getting them to do the Shahada, can you not see how we would feel disrespected? Because you can only appreciate it when I start putting it in your particular situation. That if your grandmother, an old woman, Muslim woman, was in the hospital, and a Christian who believed his religion is the only way, he believes that this old woman is going to die in hellfire unless, yeah, I convert her. He then puts a phone in her face, starts recording it, and makes her repeat the testimony that Jesus here and Christianity is the truth, and then converts her. No, you would be up in arms. You'd be burning that goddamn hospital down. You'd probably find the guy and you would humiliate him. This is disgusting, yeah. And like I said, I'm going to be balanced because
it's not a conversion.
Yeah, I want to be balanced because once again, people like Gain, I don't always get on with Gain, but big up to Gain, another Muslim who says, I really don't see the point of recording and uploading
this. This is not a conversion, is it?
Yeah, 1 minute. So
let's be clear what this is. This is exploitation.
Yeah, so we know people take Shahada on a daily basis, yeah. But what kind of dawah is this? Please think first. Perfectly put. Big up to Singy. So thank you to the Muslims out there, because what will happen with me, I'm a type of person, if I don't hear this, yeah, I'm telling you, this kind of shit will freaking make me start thinking you're crazy. So I'm glad that there's been enough Muslims to kind of come out and go, okay, this is not right, yeah, and I appreciate that. But there's a lot of you guys here that are saying stuff here that is absolutely disrespectful. Now, for people to understand, yeah, me and Talochin, yeah, don't agree on a lot of things. Talochin thinks I'm an extremist. He probably even thinks I'm an Islamophobe. If Talochin, now you may not like me, dudes, yeah, but Talochin is somebody that hates my views, yeah, on certain things, yeah, about, you know, Tommy. Obviously, I'm not with Tommy Robinson anymore, but my views, yeah, and has been outspoken against me for 2.5 years. He's been the one person that's come to the park, has said it to my face, has said it online, doesn't sugarcoat what he thinks of me, he just gives it. If he is saying, yeah, if he is saying this is wrong, don't take it from me, take it from somebody, yeah, that respects your faith, and also on top of that is an open supporter of your people. It's saying that this is abuse of elderly.
It's an insult at her family.
Yeah. So Moroccan style, getting the wrong dawah, the wrong message. The point is, from my understanding, for someone to become Muslim, yeah, and take the Shahada, they must be competent. They must know what's going on. They can't be incapacitated mentally. So a mentally ill person or somebody who's not thinking straight, somebody thinking, and they don't even know what they're saying. They cannot go to heaven in your particular belief. Otherwise, you don't believe it then. I don't think you believe even what you're saying. If you think that this old woman, yeah, this old woman who doesn't even know what's going on is gonna go to heaven. Because she's obviously totally unaware of what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, but it's not about her, is it? It's about those guys getting brownie points and being like, "Hey, look at me! Look what I did! Didn't I do good? Am I worthy?" It has such a pettiness about it that I express to you, brothers, please do better. Come on, put a better face forward for your people, will you? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, even though guys, that's why I'm highlighting comments from people that are standing up, because the people that normally stand up to the bad guys, it's the same at Speaker's Corner. Like, a lot of people say, why did you go to Speaker's Corner? I'm glad I went to Speaker's Corner, because prior to going Speaker's Corner, all I heard was the bad side, like ISIS, this, that, grooming gangs, and all this kind of stuff. When I was when Speaker's Corner, you had the Muslims that are speaking out here are normally overshadowed by the loudmouths, like Tawhid and all these Abu Talas and all that kind of stuff. But those people have to speak out, otherwise someone like me is never going to hear them. And same way in this chat. So if people disagree with this and you're Muslim, please write down your message. I will post it on the screen so people can understand that not all Muslims agree with it. I'm telling you, this is really disgraceful, real disgraceful. Obviously, the Sikh one, I'm not saying it's worse, because it's not. I think the one against this old woman is actually even worse. But the reason why this one really pisses me off is because this one's being used as a propaganda, in my opinion, to kind of like convert Sikhs as well. Because I've realized something here.
But it makes them look so bad. If it's propaganda, don't you think that, brother, that if anything, it would be like anti-Muslim propaganda for the thinking man? Like, I mean, I'm sorry to say this, brothers, but I might have been a Muslim if I hadn't have had so many pushy dawah men in my face my whole life. But the thing is that you guys made it seem so appealing to me.
I'll explain to you what's happening.
But look at the comment. Look at the comment, yeah? These two videos made me cry, especially with Ola. Now, he's not crying because he's disgusted. He's crying because he thinks it's the greatest thing that he's ever seen. And this is what you're dealing with here. The mindset that something that is so clearly wrong in this person's mind, he sees as just and moral. That God would want you to go into an old person's home and convert someone who's not even competent enough to get out of the bed, can't go toilet for themselves, can't think for themselves, can't do nothing. And you think that this is a justified conversion? You're totally lost, dude. You're going to be burnt. If there is a hellfire, which I don't really believe, if there is, you're in that hellfire, in my opinion. Yeah, I know I don't, but I'm just saying, if they
So
do.
let me explain the motivation. So what happens is that these people, first of all, the dawah has become almost like a business. Okay, and what happens is that they're trying to collect quote unquote good deeds. They believe that if you get someone to take their shahada, then you get lots of good deeds, which you can take it to the bank. It's like a credit when you go to Jannah or heaven. Okay, so for them, it's like a monetary transaction. Even during their arguments, they say, "Oh, if you say this, I'll take your good deeds. Oh, I'll take your good deeds." It's so fucking childish and retarded. But for them, it's their main.
And what does that do for a personality, brother? Don't you think that this whole thing, it builds up hommi? It builds up the idea of I, me. That is the opposite of actually what we're after as Sikhs, is dissolving the hommi, the ego, into a kalpadak. That really that this is it's very much the opposite of what Sikhi is all about.
Yeah,
rather than the
that's
preservation of oneself, we're looking to dissolve ourselves.
This is why it's an evil, mentality, because the mentality in their brain is that we're doing this so we can get good deeds and we can enjoy a nice time in heaven, the Disney World Jannah. Okay, so in their minds, they think if they let the old lady say the shahada, they'll get like 1 million brownie points, and they're not going to be questioned so much when in the grave. They believe that they're actually going to be alive in the grave, and they get questioned by some angels. Oh, look, you've targeted an old Sikh guy or an elderly woman. Oh, it's okay. We're going to go a little bit easy on you. So this is a sick mentality. It's a mental illness. And
now I'm going to just read the problem I had was that when the video went up on Black Dunya is a regular at Speakers Corner. There's other videos that have been put up on this particular thing. 105-year-old man takes shahada. No kind of comment about the fact that he's incapacitated. He can barely even move his finger. He can barely talk. Even I don't want to disrespect him, but in the corner there's nappies showing that he's not even continent in that sense, and I don't want to disrespect him. Doesn't even have a dastar on his bug. And basically, when I read the comments, that's what annoyed me more. Was like all of these people just supporting it. Even here, look, Go Speakers Corner. He's obsessed with me. Yeah. And then you go down, keep going down. All of them are good. Great news. Singh obviously said something pretty good. But obviously, you go down, and then there's one comment that had to turn up here. Even in this video about this, guess whose name gets mentioned? Guess who? Me. By Grey Dunya or Gay Dunya. Now, even in this time, he can't even respect.
And what's he saying?
He goes, "Yo, Raj Pigeon, if you're watching this, it means you still have some time to the hut. Stop fighting it." Now, I said yesterday that for me, when I see videos like this here, I mean, oh my God, there's no way I'd ever become Muslim if this is the type of Islam that they're propagating. If this is the type of Islam they're propagating, never. I'm never going to become Muslim anyway. But it makes me have animosity. It doesn't just push me a bit away. It will start making me angry.
Well, let's remember it. Simran. And the truth is, brother man, this is just another example to me of why Khalsa is the will of a Kalpadak Vaheguru. That the righteous reign of the Khalsa is to bring freedom from tyranny, and this is just another example of tyranny. And I can understand why you guys, be you Muslim, Hindu, Christian, atheist, whatnot, might be threatened by these words. Trust me, it shocked me in the beginning too. But the Muslims that were with Guruji for hundreds of years remained Muslims and still are Muslims. Yeah. Like, this is what is offered under Khalsa Raj.
Flexi, I don't know if you noticed, but remember when the Muslims were trying to reach Kashmir, when the whole lockdown was happening in India, the Sikhs, they took like a bunch, I think 100 Muslim Kashmiri girls, and they drove them back to their families. Now, that's the Sikh way. The Sikh way is not to go and take them. Yeah, but the Sikh way is not that, oh, these girls, we're going to convert them into Sikhi. That's not the mentality that we have. That's not the way we see things. This idea is a desert idea. It belongs in the desert. It's a mentality that is evil to its core. There's nothing good that comes from
it. Let me say something. I need to shut the show up.
And let's be clear that Raindrop is not talking about Islam here, because we accept Muslims and we have Muslims within our Guru. That Guru Granth Sahib Ji has the writings of Bhagat Kabir Ji, and that we are with you, brothers. So, like, that we are not against you Hindus, we are not against Muslims, we are for the betterment of all humanity. What we are against is tyranny.
Yeah.
And whatever
You couldn't
to be any religion.
Yeah. So if a Hindu is like the BJP is terrorizing people, I'm against you based on their faith. I'm against you. If there's a Muslim terrorizing people because of their faith, I'm against you. If you're a Sikh, you're terrorizing people because of their faith, I'm against you. Now, like this is perfect.
I want to clarify something about myself.
So this is a perfect example of like what we're talking about in terms of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. This is his the 5 Udasis that he did. Talk for a second, man. I need to quickly discuss.
Yes, so let me say, when people accuse me of being an Islamophobe or whatever, let me tell you something that I discovered. They don't. I never said anything against the Prophet because I believe the Prophet is innocent. He never did any of this crazy shit. Because if you see the Prophet's history, they started as soon as he died. The Muslims didn't even have the decency to bury him immediately. They waited. They started fighting amongst each other. Who's gonna, be the next one in control? Who's gonna be the political dude? Who's gonna be the political owner? And after he died, they ran after and persecuted his daughter. They slaughtered his grandkids.
Yeah, I know. Come on. Let's not get into this.
Yeah, I'm just talking about that.
Well, you know what, brother? I don't know much.
I just want to.
I'm no Hindu. I'm no Muslim, but the God of Allah and Ram is the one who I bow to.
Yeah, the sickness stems from this mentality that allowed his own children, his own grandchildren, to have their heads chopped off. This is the mentality that I'm talking about when I criticize the Muslims or Islam. But I don't believe that these guys have their own prophet's best interest in hand. They're the enemies. They took his daughter's land. I mean, who does that? Who mentally?
Right. So what I want to quickly just do, because I need to wrap up in a minute. I need to wrap up in a minute. I don't want to get too. So this drawing perfectly kind of encapsulates the kind of philosophy of Sikhi, in my opinion, because this is Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the founder of Sikhism.
Now this is our guru in the middle.
So
by two Muslims.
This is Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Hindu and a Muslim, by Mardana and by Balla, and he went around the world for around 25 years, traveling, from East India, Bihar, even went to Sri Lanka, went to North India like Nepal and Mecca,
China, Rome.
So the thing is, even by Mardana's family, who are Muslims, and descendants of a lot of Muslims that are, respected by Sikhs, they're still Muslims. Yeah, we respect them because they respect us. It's the ones like, these degenerates. Yeah, they are the degenerates that don't respect us, see us as nothing but a piece of shit on their shoe that they can convert in a hospital. Even if they're on their deathbed and stuff like that. So I hope people understand that the Sikhs did not. That's my drawing. So I did it for the 550th. So if people want to see, I'll actually read. Let me just read it. So let me just give a minute. Yeah. So here's the drawing I did for the 550th.
It's beautiful, by G.
It took a long time, this one. It's actually one of my most complicated ones.
Why good?
So basically, this was for the 550th kind of anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and it was the 4 Udasis, or the travels of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Yeah, so when you look at this particular one, in the top, so I'm just going to quickly read it, just to end on a good note. Guru Nanak was moved by the plight of the people of the world and wanted to tell them about the real message of God. The peoples of the world were confused by the conflicting messages given by priests, pundits, qazis, mullahs, etc. He was determined to bring his message to the masses. So in 1500, he decided to set out on his sacred mission to spread the holy message of peace and compassion to all mankind. It is believed that Guru Nanak is the second most traveled person in the world. Most of his journeys were made on foot with his companion by Mardana, who was a Muslim, and by Balla, who was a Hindu. He traveled in all 4 directions, north, east, west, and south. The founder of Sikh Gurus is believed to have traveled more than 28,000 kilometers, which is like 20,000 miles, in 5 major tours of the world during the period from 1500 to 1521. The first Udasi, 1500 to 1505, was to the central and eastern parts of India. So if you look here, these are actually temples that are still there today, which were there at the time. So I just put them in, and then you can see here's Guru Nanak Dev Ji with his companions. Then the second one was Second Udasi 1506 to 1509 took him to important towns and religious centers of South India, including Sri Lanka. So as you can see at the bottom here, he's kind of like, you know, doing kind of kata to people, you know, basically preaching. And this temple here is still here.
The Buddhist.
And this temple is still here. It was there at the time of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, so I drew that in. And then in the third Udasi,
a video that there's like some Tibetan kids, right, in Ladakh. I don't know if this is true though, but I'm gonna send you the video. So this guy, did you see that video where they show that there's a gufa, there's a cave where Guru Nanak Dev Ji and his companions actually stayed in? It was amazing. This is like in the middle of nowhere, like all ice and stuff. And there's like this Tibetan guy, and he's like showing around. He's like, oh, this, and it's like written in Gurmukhi, like this is a sign there. And then it's really cool. It was awesome because the place is beautiful. Like it's almost like a beautiful place. Like it's like out of this world. The beauty is crazy.
Let me just read the end of it because I nearly finished it. So
they call him Lama Nanak, but they consider him a reincarnation of the Buddha.
So it did go to the place. So if you look at this, the third one, which is in the North India bit, he goes, the third Udasi, 1540 to 1560, Guru Nanak traveled to the Gangetic Plains, Bihar, Nepal, Lasar, etc., as far as Taksan, and then back to the Punjab via the Kashmir Valley. Now, obviously, the last one's going to be the most controversial, which is that, and the fourth Udasi took him to the various Arab countries, including Mecca. And his final travel in the center was his travels back home to the Punjab, to Kartarpur, where he passed away in 1539. Kartarpur is now in Pakistan, obviously. And so, I don't want it to seem like, because this is kind of my fault as well, because when I went Speaker's Corner, I was very much like, yeah, but I wasn't showing the balance that we do not hate Muslims. We do not hate Sikhs. I mean, we do not hate Hindus, nearly said bloody Sikhs. We do not hate Hindus. We hate the extremist sides of both of them. I hate Modi and I hate the extremist side of Muslims.
No hate,
as well.
No fear, no hate. Yeah.
So for us, if you're hearing us say stuff and you agree with us that what's happening to these old people in these old people's home is disgusting, you are not part of the problem. You are not my enemy. In fact, we can be, I wouldn't say friends because that's a bit too much. I don't need friends. But we can be fighting the same bad people that, are attacking your faith from within as well. Because I believe the BJP is doing more harm to the Hindu community because of the extremism. Like, let me explain.
Yeah, that is true, Raj.
So let me explain.
They're making.
Let me explain. So if you look at, for everybody to see, when you're looking at Hindus, Hindus have a reputation of being very peaceful. But over the last few years, because of Modi and the BJP, Hindus are now seen as some fundamentalist crazy people that will kill you over eating a cow. This is what's happened to the Muslim community because the large voices, are overshadowing the majority. They're a minority, but they're overshadowing the majority. Same with people like Sheikh Kwan, Mad Dunyad, Taweed, and all of these people that are, holding each other's little lulla all the time. Those guys are disrespecting their faith. They're making people become Islamophobic because of their rhetoric, because they're supporting videos of old people being forcibly converted just before they're dying and stuff. And so it's the same situation, like on both sides. Dudes, I need to seriously wrap up now. Is there any kind of last words you guys want to say before we go? Because I need to shoot, man.
No, I'm done, bro. Big up, guys.
Yeah.
God bless
Is there
you,
anything
Ted.
that you want to say?
Yeah, apologize for losing my cool.
Yeah, can I just say something? Let me just start trying to set some parameters when we're doing these shows about Sikh issues. I don't want it to start going up to support of any particular group or justifying any particular group per se. And I want to try and keep it balanced, as much as I possibly can. Yeah, I don't know people say, Raj, you're a bloody Islamophobe anyway, but I don't think I am. I don't believe I am. This is why I don't really take it seriously because I don't. When I see a Muslim, that is a pious Muslim, I don't think to myself, dude, that person's an evil person. When I see people like Isa who passed away, I see other people that I've met at the park that are good people, not just Muslims. I say, well done. If it makes you a better person, cool. But when you have people like Grey Dunya, when you have people like Sheikh Wan, when you have people like Taweed, when you have people like these degenerates like Abu Talha, these people are like disgraceful human beings, disgraceful Muslims, disgrace to their community, doing more damage to Muslims than anybody could do because of their behavior. And so if you're following the 5 pillars of Islam and you're being a pious Muslim, like my guru says, man, you know, we have different paths.
100%.
We have different paths. Like
Yeah.
you're degenerate, like some of these guys that are excusing the behavior of an old man being forcibly converted in a hospital, then you are my enemy straight up.
100%. Like this sort of thing that I'm trying to say that before, like I don't, associate the Prophet with these individuals. I don't think like he would be doing these things because a lot of shit was made up about him. And I think, a lot of stuff, that these guys are using to justify their evil nonsense, they made it up 200 years after his death. So, what can I say, man? This is Kali Yuga, and then I see Kali Yuga Chirinde again. So we have to deal with the demons that we have to face. And
You're not trying to say Shias are the real Muslims. Oh, no,
I mean, look, I don't.
I'm telling you, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
I mean, if the cap fits, if the hat fits,
because I shouldn't have said that towards the end. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
I'm not saying that, that's not for me to say. That's for other people to decide. But certainly, I don't see the Shias running around in old people homes trying to get them to take their shahada on camera. I haven't seen. If you have seen some Shias do that, then please let me know. But I certainly haven't seen any Shias do that type of activity. I think
it does seem to be one particular group that seems to really do a bad thing for the whole of the Muslim community.
Yeah, I mean, it's a disgraceful situation. Like that, and the thing is, anybody, like even Reactionary yesterday pissed me off because he was mocking the thing. There's nothing wrong with it. But at least when he come onto the panel, and when I put it on him that if someone done this to a Muslim man, would you accept it? He was like, no. Then he started realizing. This is one of the things I kind of realized. The only way, don't take this the wrong way, especially Sunni Muslims can understand how offensive something is when you say, if you did this to an old Muslim man, would you accept it? Because I guarantee you, if there was a video out there of an old Muslim man in the hospital on his deathbed almost, can't speak, can't move, and then there was a Christian guy coming in there filming him and then going, say that Jesus Christ is this and making him convert to Christianity just before he dies. These people like Grey Dunya and Sheikh Wan, they'll be going crazy. Yeah, crazy. Like literally they'll lose their mind. They'll be probably burning down their toilet or something like that. I don't know what they're going to do. They'll go mad. But because they see us as kuffars, they think what they're doing is a noble thing. No, you're disrespecting and violating us when you're doing shit like this. And then uploading it on your channels saying this is amazing. You're violating us, and on top of that, you make
yourself look bad.
You make yourself look bad, and on top of that, you make people like me start thinking you're nuts. Yeah,
I mean, they are nuts. So let me tell you, the same mentality that was there that convinced the Muslims to chop off the head of their own prophet's grandchild. This is the same mentality that we see here. It's the same mentality.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Because Grey Dunya is a guy that he had his name as Yazid Ali. I didn't know who Yazid was. Now, for people to understand, Yazid here is the guy that killed Prophet Muhammad's grandchildren and stuff like that. So this just shows you that these type of, now I'm going to say these type of Muslims, because now that I've met enough people over from different communities, different things, I'm not going to start branding all Muslims, blah, 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 because there's a lot of Muslims that I've met that are nice people, very good guys. One of them was Isa. You guys should be disgraced of yourself. Like, do you know what I used to always feel sorry for Isa? Yeah, Isa was in the park, yeah, doing dawah through his mannerisms, yeah, and there was all these idiots like Mad Dunny and them, like everything he was doing, yeah, in terms of building up the reputation of his community in doing dawah through his mannerisms. These guys were literally destroying it in the next second. So imagine, yeah, you'd see Isa doing something and doing good stuff and all that kind of stuff. There's other Muslims in the part. These degenerates are walking around with masks on, threatening people, going rah 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 rah, yeah, and acting like fools and doing anti-dawah. And anything that they did, yeah, was totally undone or almost undone as soon as they opened their mouth. So yeah, they're literally a stain on their community, man. I'm not gonna lie, stain on the community. So is there anything you want to say?
And can I also say, brother Rajji, that the morals of these so-called Muslims, and the same way as the morals of those so-called soldiers who attacked Harminder Sahibji in 1984, is evidence to me that Sikhi is the right path and will bring righteousness for all of humanity. If anything, I can understand why you guys are pressing back so hard, because you were scared that Khalsa Raj is coming. The Khalsa will rule and none shall oppose them. Waheguru.
Yeah. So I think ending on that note would be a good thing. Like I said, hopefully we can do some more shows on this, and hopefully I didn't offend anyone. Blah blah. Are you okay now? Blah blah. God's sakes, man. Like, yeah. We'll do a show about bloody tattoos. I think it's a good topic. I actually do want to know what the ruling is on certain things anyway. Yeah, we can kind of talk about stuff like that. I don't want to argue on here though.
It's like one of the hukam numbers.
Yeah, what I want to do when we go into
the 52 hukam numbers.
When we go into these shows about Sikhs and Sikhism, I don't want to argue with fellow Sikhs. Yeah, let me just get that straight. Yeah. So if I do it, I will apologize because I want to be the better man, and I want to try and lead by example up to a point. And you know how stubborn I am in terms of my ego. Within these shows, I want to be able to kind of like, take criticism without flying off the handle, because he was criticizing something and I shouldn't have flown off the handle, but I took it personally. Same with other people. If you support XYZ, it doesn't automatically make you a non-Sikh or this and that. So stop saying this kind of stuff. And at some point, I would like to have the Lochin on here. But obviously, he won't come on here because this is an Islamophobes channel. But if he ever wants to jump on, man, I think it'd be a good voice to have an opposing
view. We love Muslims. I don't know about you, but we love Muslims and we love Hindus too. Like, Hindus are brilliant. Honestly, like, this is never a day that people should think of a Hindu Sikh war. That's not what that was at all. And we are with the Sikh brothers. We are with the Muslim brothers. We are with the Christians.
It's not even a Muslim Sikh war, because the thing is that what we've seen is like a twisted version of what Muslims are supposed to be. So even in the Guru Granth Sahib, they leave the criteria of what a real Muslim is. A real Muslim is someone who is
just like Hindu politics now. This right-wing Hindu politics in the same manner. This doesn't represent Hindu Dharam. This is a
no. You're right. You're right. That's why I'm always against any religion and politics mixing. So even if you look at the BJP, they're using the Hindu religion for their twisted politics.
Apart from ours,
I need to go. There's a program on the Sikh channel. I need to shoot that. So Mum's calling me. If you look,
can we end with a little Simran?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah. So if you want to start off,
would you like to lead, Raj?
No, you lot lead, and then I'll follow, man. I'm not the best person to lead Simran and stuff. I don't think I'm the right person. But
well, Simran, as far as I'm led to believe, means remembrance. So remembering the holy name.
You can say why.
So Waheguru, wow to the remover of ignorance, wow to the Guru, Waheguru, 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 Waheguru.
Yeah, I think we should have one day where we do a meditation session for like 5 minutes. What do you think?
I had a question for you guys. When I was younger, like when I used to go to school, we used to chant Waheguru Satnam Satnam Waheguru. Do you guys do that too? Like, or that was just my family, because we used to chant like going to school, Waheguru Satnam Satnam Waheguru, or is that
whatever works for you? Every Jati Banda has their own, but it always circles around Bani, doesn't it? So like the best start for me is always Mul Mantra, and from there, like Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj expressed that in Ik Onkar Satgur Prasad we have the whole of Guru Granth Sahib Ji encapsulated. So Ik Onkar Satgur Prasad.
Yeah, so even Jen Wallace, you can follow it as well. Let me play that, because this is the video I need to
Yeah, I
fine.
couldn't find who sang that.
Yeah,
I
let me
tried
just
finding
find
it.
it.
I couldn't find it. I thought it was Snatam Kaur, maybe from like someone from Sikh Net, but I couldn't find who sang it.
Yeah, so even like yeah, Jen Wallace and everybody, like you can kind of like join in because this is like an amazing video. When I saw it, I was shocked because I was like, wow, like you know, I didn't realize it was Simran first, like Sikh Simran. Yeah, I was like, I thought it was something else. Then I started hearing him go, why guru, you know, Ikon Khan and stuff. So this is a video. This is the shabd here that I need to find here. I can't seem to find it. Basically, this is in a Spanish hospital when the coronavirus was at its peak, and a lot of people were dying in Spain. And let me just get off. So a lot of people were dying in Spain, and so they were doing a meditation.
This is the power of the Bani.
Yeah. So this is they were doing a meditation.
The workings of the Guru. That here with people who don't even believe that they can still be affected. We can all get something from Jagat Guru, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj.
So let me just play. So these are not Sikhs, and they don't have to become Sikhs. So you can hear them saying, "Why here, Guru?" So
Why?
So you can see that, yeah, that was like I was like, that was an amazing thing. So they got something out of that. It relaxed them, and so you know, we're not asking you to become Sikh. If you do, that's great, but we're not asking. We're not like people that you have to become a Sikh. No, you can
Not necessarily.
You can learn from that. I mean, like, you know, Mad Dunya, join us. We'll do it like a 5-minute. Join us. We're not saying. In fact, what they're saying here is not against your religion. Ikonkar means one God. Yeah. Waheguru, just the name of God. We can call him Waheguru, we can call him Allah, we can call him God, we can call him Yahweh, we can call him Rab, you can call him whatever. Yeah?
Ram.
So nothing they're saying within there is going to go against your face. Because do you believe in one God? Yes, you do. Is his name true? Yes. So all of you lot, we should all join in together. Our Muslim brothers as well. Great Dunya will be sitting there doing his prayers for us. And
Hindus are welcome too.
Hindus, Christians, atheists like that demon.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Hindus go to Gurudwaras.
Jen Wallace and all of them, like
especially in America.
Yeah, in America and in England.
Yeah, so we're not. Yeah, and I will agree. You are the wrong person to lead any prayer. I agree, but do you know what? I'm gonna do it. Do you know why? Because even bad people that are immoral, yeah, if they do something with a clean heart and they truly believe what they're doing is right, I can still do it. Even people that are corrupt and let's say not the most moral people have the right to pray. Yeah,
the Guru will always forgive.
Yeah, we all can receive redemption. Yeah, and I need to start doing prayers like on a more regular basis. So it'd be good to do that. Anyway, I'm gonna have to drop you out.
This is the power of the Guru.
Yeah, so Waheguru Kakal, you don't need to just drop out because I need to end it without you on it.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thanks for the show, man. We'll do a female show in the future soon, hopefully. So when we're anything. So yeah, so thanks for joining. I need to go. Now, obviously, I have to end with a bit of a bad bit. Sorry, I have to get them off because I can't do my naughty kind of stuff until they go because I always feel bad. Yeah. Now, in the comments, we had some guys going, "What have the Sikhs ever done? How Sikhs?" Listen to this. See this guy here? See this guy here? The general. See the guy, he's making him sign a paper. You know the guy's signing a paper here, forcing him to sign a paper. The general Sikh here, yeah, that's the Pakistani army, yeah, the leader, yeah. This is the Sikh who was flown into Bangladesh. To think about it, the Sikhs were flown 1,500 miles or whatever it was into Bangladesh and to save the Bangladesh from the Pakistanis. So big up to ourselves. Thank you for us for helping our fellow Muslim brothers in Bangladesh. And like I said, you may think that, you know, We're only a small amount of people, but let me tell you something, dudes. It's not numbers. It's not quantity, but quality. And that's what you need to understand. Anyway, I'm off. I don't want to leave it on a negative. Like I said, to people out there that, you know, are agreeing that, you know, these videos are wrong and all that kind of stuff, you know, I appreciate it. You know, like people like, you know, Shahid, Jack with a big butt, Somali Flame, a few other people, I appreciate it. You may not think it, I do, because if I don't read your comments and you don't, this is a problem I think the Muslim community has here. I've seen at Speaker's Corner, the people that are doing the disservice or anti-Dawa are so ruthless and so nasty that they are dangerous, a lot of them. And so to stand up to them, it can be dangerous in a lot of ways, not just in terms of them saying you're not Muslim, you're not a Muslim if you don't do this, or even worse, it could be violence. So the people that are standing up against them get a lot of stick because they are a very small minority. Like in Speaker's Corner, there's 5% of them, but they cause so much issues. Yeah, everyone was scared of them. And so for people to actually stand up, I appreciate it because I need to hear your voices. If I don't hear your voices, you're going to get that old Raj back, because I've moved on from my original thoughts when I'm at Speaker's Corner. I've adjusted my views. Yeah, but if I start seeing stuff and then I don't hear an opposing view to stuff that I know to be wrong, yeah, like this old Sikh guy being converted in a hospital, and everybody says, "Oh, this is amazing, this is amazing," and then I don't hear people like Jack with the big pipe, Somali Flame, or any of the other people actually disagreeing with it. What I will start thinking is that your guys as a whole are degenerates. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to say on it. Yeah, so obviously I need to wrap the show up on a good note. Big up to everyone listening. We're going to do some more Sikh shows obviously in the future. Gonna plan to do a Sikh show with Sikh females coming on here, a couple of converts as well, like Flexi is a convert who converted a few years ago, so we'll have other people coming in there as well, and hopefully you know, we can do that soon. We're supposed to do it a couple of days ago. Anyway, big up to yourselves anyway. Take care, man. Have a good day.